Encounter! Dismal. Dismal.
Oh wait, shit, we're fucking up. We're muted. I was recording. Oh shit. Oh no, they couldn't hear us. I'm so sorry. Oh no, already. We're starting stream come. Yeah.
Thank God they didn't hear me say all of those slurs.
Yeah, right. Thank God you didn't hear us say all of our political opinions.
All of that.
I saw my mods going like, Ray, you're muted. Ray, you're muted. Like they were DMing me. They're like, Ray, you're fucking muted. You're fucking muted, you idiot. I'm like, ah, fuck. Anyways, let's I guess take it from the top. Hi everybody, welcome back to the year 3064. We love to make music here, and today we're joined by the very lovely Bolts the Mechanic. Hi Bolts, how are you?
Hi, you take it from the top. First try.
First try, you know?
But yeah, I'm doing good. Hello, everybody. Hello. Great to be here, Ray. Happy Mother's Day Eve to all of the mothers and mother-havers out there. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday.
Right? I hope you all are too. Tomorrow's the day. Dude, honestly, Mother's Day always sneaks up on me. You mentioned before we started, like, oh, you had all your Mother's Day prep done. I'm like, Mother's Day prepped? What?
Well, it's more like I had to do a bunch of shopping. I talked about it on stream. I had to do shopping this morning because it's like, okay, I have everything set up for stream. And I'm going to set aside an hour. I just have to go get a card, and I have to go get flowers because I already have like the gift and everything. Cool. And then my mom was like, hey, I need you to get something for your grandmother because I need you to go pick something up for her. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Gives me the address. This is on the other side of town.
Oh,
and then I also
lovely.
realized, oh, wait, I didn't get anything for grandma either.
Oh,
Fuck. So and then I go outside. It's like, okay, fine. Prep is done. I got an hour. I can do it. I go outside and it's pouring rain.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those days.
It's going to be one of those days.
Okay.
It's one of those days.
I managed to make everything work out, but yeah, it definitely was one of those situations where it's like, trust me, I had to like get everything together last minute too. I think that's how it is for a lot of people.
That's how it is for a lot of people, right? I'm kind of a living in the last minute sort of person. You know, I'm like doing it on the fly. We're doing it on the fly.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Thank you for giving Bolts a shout out. Thank you so kindly to the mods. Also, again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here today. You know, not our usual stream. Usually we're playing fighting games here, but you know, my big goal, my big dream as a content creator was always in the vein of music production, and so it's always such a joy to do music production, and it's always such a joy to like bring a friend to come along and do music production with me. Which, thank you again, Bolts, for coming along. Thank you for coming. Thank you for accepting. I really appreciate it.
Happy to be here. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what the peek behind the curtain looks like.
Right. So, you know, I can mention to people the goal. You know, it's really just a lure. You know, I tell people, yeah, we're gonna make you a song, which is the goal, which is the quote unquote goal. But really, it is just a moment to, you know, deepen friendship, have a good time, have a good yap, and like if we get a song for you out of it, well, perfect.
Yeah. Honestly, the music is just secondary to some good conversation.
Right? Exactly. Okay, actually, there was something, just out of the gate, there was something, so you have, by the way, like, an actually really banging TikTok. A really banging TikTok. Because, and I'm just talking about, like, the things you talk about. And you had this short where you mentioned...
Are you talking about the Michael Jackson?
Yes, you mentioned,
yeah.
Yes. That is, like, my favorite piece of, like, fucking music trivia in the video game sphere ever. And it's like, cause like for the longest time, that was like, how do we call this? That was like a conspiracy theory, basically. Like, that was just like a straight up conspiracy theory. Like no one really knew, like everybody could tell, like, dude, this is just like a bunch of these songs, like this song sounds like Billie Jean, and like this song sounds like Beat It, like, and so everybody was like, what the fuck? And like, did Michael Jackson work on this? And so it was quite fun to have that be a part of the invention,
Yeah, it was a thing where that short blew up on TikTok. I think it almost got 100,000 views. So I think it is my best performing TikTok ever, which is funny because TikTok I do okay on. The shorts are more made for YouTube.
Really?
TikTok is just bringing back the whole like short form content conversation that had been going. I hit my mic. That had been going around for like the past few weeks. It's like, hey, you make something, just post it everywhere. Who knows how it'll do? I've been seeing a lot of your stuff around too, like on fun facts on how to improve your stream setup and everything, which is great. It's such a good. It's such like a. You create such like. I want to praise you for such good digestible content that it will help a lot of streamers out there.
Did you know you were my biggest inspiration on shorts?
Really?
Yeah. I see your editing and the way you. I see your editing and I see your scripts and I'm like, I'm like trying to make an edit and I look at it and I'm like, this fucking looks ugly. This looks stupid. And then I just go watch some of your shorts and I'm like, oh, that looks clean. That looks pretty. Like
oh, if they can make ugly and stupid stuff work, maybe I can
no,
too.
No. The shorts all the shorts cause sometimes I like spend like a good like hour watching your shorts. Oh, I got transformed into a marketable cat. Hi.
Did you get turned into the fate cat?
Yeah, yes, I did.
The Type Moon cat.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to ask. That is a reference to Type Moon.
Yeah,
right?
it is. I
love those little gremlins.
I love them too. I love them so kindly. Also, real quick, thank you. Congrats to Shadowkeep for the first. Congrats to Family Fish for the second. Hi, Icy. Hi, Rico. How you doing? Lots of goose. Thank you so kindly. So, Draco yet. Thanks so much for the follow. Sorry, like things were a little hectic, and I didn't say hello to everybody. Hi, everybody. I love you all. Hi, Spirit. How you doing? I haven't even said hi to. I didn't even say hi to the Raiders property, dude. I'm already on yap mode.
Do what you gotta do.
No, but yeah, here. We're just vibing. We're straight vibing. Bing chillin'. Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because like the editing for my shorts has gone through a couple of different hands because I've needed to, some editors, because either I have to think about costs or some editors just like can't work anymore, or maybe it's not matching the style. Before we started the call, I was talking about how there were so many things I wanted to do but didn't have the time to do, or I had to like prioritize certain things. I actually took a break from doing scripted stuff for a while because it's like, these are taking too long.
They do, right?
Or it's like, they take a while to script because it's different compared to, say, like what a lot of other streamers do, where they'll just find those best moments or they'll create streams.
I can't do that. I have to script
around making those moments.
Right. No,
and
for sure.
I feel like I can't make those moments organically
sometimes. Me neither.
So,
I have to script.
Yeah. And the scripting is also a carryover from like the other jobs I do. And I used to do YouTube. I used to be a YouTuber before I was a streamer, where I did a lot of scripted videos. So I'm like, okay, let me just do some scripted stuff. But, the scripted stuff was also inconsistent. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I just try to, maybe it's the algorithm's fault. Maybe I just need to make like do the Chibidoki approach, like put out a short a day or 2 shorts a day of like just fun moments from my stream for like a month. And I did that. And they didn't do as well. And then I randomly came across my new current editor. They were like looking for work, and I'm like, oh, okay. They do scripted stuff. You know what? Let me do a scripted short again. I haven't done that in a while. And it got like 20,000 views. And I'm like, let me try it again. And then like I realized, my problem wasn't that my scripts were bad. The problem was that I was talking about too many things all over the place. Because my brand has always been retro, but retro is still very broad. So why don't I just focus on 1 or 2 specific franchises? And what better ones to talk about than Sonic and Mario?
Right.
So
right. No,
I started mostly talking about Sonic and Mario. And now for the past month, my shorts have been doing phenomenal. And then
I've noticed
regarding... I'm sorry, go on. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No. I was like, I noticed them. I've noticed them. Go on. Sorry, I was
And then regarding the Michael Jackson one, that was just. Sometimes you think to yourself, you got to think like a little bit like a content creator, like, oh, the Michael Jackson documentary came out. Wasn't there a lot of rumors around Michael Jackson getting involved with Sonic? Does some research. Oh, he was very involved with Sega and Sonic.
Involved.
I can make a short about this. So I did one, and it did about as well on YouTube as my other ones. I just randomly dumped it on TikTok, and then I woke up the next day like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, right, music-related trivia does do very well on TikTok.
Really?
Because it's allowed to thrive more on TikTok because YouTube and Twitch's copyright is a bitch. So there's only so much you can go into with talking about music on that platform. But TikTok, where everyone's allowed to do or say whatever about music, there you go.
Really? I've always had like, because for a long time, I mean, when I first started, especially when TikToking, I did a lot of music-related content, and I was always struggling because, like, you know, I could only talk about music for, like, under a minute, because otherwise TikTok would be like, no, mute it. I'm like, why? So I'm surprised, but I'll take that no. I'll take that learning. That is big learning.
There's definitely a formula to it, but I think the idea is that TikTok, the way that TikTok works and the way that a lot of people use it is that music is always used to enhance moments that are being shared. A good example of that is cosplay TikTok.
Okay.
And this is coming from somebody who, I guess I'm a cosplay streamer, but I've also done a lot of like IRL cosplays, especially during COVID. People were blowing up on TikTok making shorts and like cosplay changing videos and stuff to the beats of music. Like they would find popular songs, record a bunch of individual parts of them putting on cosplays, and then create basically collages, like progressive collages to the beats of those music, and those would do really well. Hell, there was a person on TikTok I recently came across who's honestly become one of my favorite people to listen to past couple of weeks, where he does like 1920s jazz recreations of songs.
I love that. That.
He'll take a song from like Has Been Hotel or something, and he'll put a little jazz kind of spin on the song, and it was really good. It was so good that people originally thought that he was using AI, till he was like, you know what? I'll just perform the shorts myself so people know that it's not AI.
Right. Oh
and
my
he even
God.
got the aesthetic down and everything. I'm like, oh, that's so good. But music is a big part of TikTok's identity. And what I think happened was because the Michael Jackson movie came out, people were sharing a lot of clips and a lot of Michael Jackson's music on TikTok. So saying Michael Jackson kind of pushed me into more algorithms.
That's so smart.
That's my assumption. That was not planned, but that's my assumption for why that TikTok blew up.
That is so, dude. You are like, you got wisdom about the game. They played the game.
This is content creation. Is a game where the rules change every week, and half the battle is just figuring out what the new rules are.
Right? No, for real.
But if you don't find that part fun, then it's gonna be a frustrating time.
For sure. No, absolutely. I've had a lot of success on like Twitter. But like, yeah, like video format. Hey, how you doing? But like, yeah, the short form video content has always just like eluded me. Has like definitely eluded me. It's always been like, oh, because like sometimes something pops. Sometimes like, okay, this popped, but it's always like a really hard time recreating it. So I see, you were coming. I was like, hi, Kai. You're the hi, Jade. I did not expect to learn today, but you know what? We take every day as a learning opportunity. Thank you, dog.
Mm-hmm. Every opportunity, every success or failure is another opportunity to be like, okay, why did that work? Why did that not work? And
for sure.
Like how I just explained how my shorts have been starting to do better. It's from taking information that I knew before. It's like, okay, scripted stuff works. Scripted stuff helps you stand out. What are you going to talk about? Well, I want to talk about things that I like and that I know about. It's okay. How are you going to package that? How are you going to present that? And how are you going to focus that so you can garner your specific audience, you know? And I think I saw a big, what I think, if I was to give some advice, because this is actually something that me and my partner have also agreed upon, it's... I think nowadays, and this might be why like all of those discussions about short form content popped off lately, it's because I think it highlights something that a lot of people don't know, at least in the VTuber space. A lot of VTubers are spending most, if not all of their time studying other VTubers. I don't think a lot of VTubers are studying other content creators.
No, absolutely. I think that too. I have a friend who always poses this question to me, and I think I like, you know, admittedly, I think the only place I ever really consume quote unquote VTuber content is just Twitter, and like, I think it is kind of like, because I think we're both kind of. I remember I don't know if I think there was a conversation about shorts recently that people were having on Twitter about short form content, and some people saying like it doesn't work. It doesn't work for VTubers, which I'm like, I think what I gather what you're saying is like it doesn't work in the sense of VTubers because VTuber is kind of like it's like a micro niche within a micro niche.
Yeah.
Right.
That it's a micro niche within a micro niche, and what is tricky is that when being a VTuber now is easier than it's ever been.
For sure.
In terms of like
accessibility,
what you have accessibility, what you can do, what you have access to. You could, like, there is technically nothing stopping you from being a quote unquote successful VTuber at like a $200 budget.
Oh, for sure.
Which is insane.
You can do it for
just
free.
Like
you can
5 years ago.
Like for free. Like it's
for free
for
even.
Free.
Like, well, maybe not completely for free.
Like, okay,
but
like, you need a
it's
mic.
not
You need a mic.
hard to come across, because you know you still have to have games. You still have to have a decent setup.
Yeah.
You still, but everyone thinks like, oh, I need like a $5,000 model or something like that.
Don't
I'm
need
like,
that
no.
shit.
If anything, I've been seeing more people grow quickly and get to places like Partner on a budget, just doing wacky, crazy things on their own. But that's just it. It's almost like being an indie film developer, where you have a lower than average budget, but you're still expected to produce something that's going to grab the attention of the same amount of people that like go to see the Avengers or something.
Right. No, for sure.
It's like working on an A24 movie. And it's like, okay, what if, and I almost would argue that if I was to give anybody advice on being a content creator, if I could give myself this advice back then, it's like, okay, where would you start? I'm like, start small.
Oh, for
Start with like as many limited resources as possible. Do not invest in anything big until you've spent at least a little bit of time doing this with barely anything. Because if you're not going to enjoy this without the super big, fancy, elaborate, expensive stuff.
Yeah, like
well, first off, you won't know until you get that stuff, and at that point, it's already too late.
Yeah.
But it's more like if you can't enjoy this with limited resources, you will hate it with big, expensive resources.
Because now you're like fucking $10,000 down the hole, and like you fucking hate it. Yeah,
exactly. It's the equivalent of like take a community college class before you invest $10,000 in a school or in a major that you might not even enjoy.
No, absolutely.
And I go to the indie filmmaker comparison, because a lot of the creative things you'll sometimes see in indie film or like low budget television is like, okay, we're not able to do like the Battle for New York and the Avengers or anything like that. So we're never going to be able to do that. But what can we do with what we have? And that forces you to get creative. And if you enjoy being in that position, if you enjoy being in that state of kind of pushed creativity, then I think you're going to go very far. Because if you don't enjoy that grind, if you don't enjoy that, I don't know how to make this work, but the fun is trying to make this work, then again, you're not going to go very far. And
No,
that's
absolutely.
that's frustrating. That's daunting. And then I think that's where a lot of people get the burnout. I think that's where a lot of people, I've seen people and friends that are checking their CCV every single day. And it's like, I don't think you're having fun making content. I think you're having fun seeing number go up. And I don't, like, that is important.
For sure. Like, it's like a
what
metric.
else are you in this for?
Right.
You know?
Right, like, it's like, just to say I've never, like, viewed my numbers and said, ooh, yeah, lizard brain number go up, yay. Like, it would be a lie, obviously. Obviously, I think it's just, like, an inherent, like, you know, humans are inherently nature. You know, they like metrics. But, like, when I sit there, I think to myself, so I have, like, this dilemma on Twitter where, like, I'm, like, mildly doing pretty good on Twitter. But, like, I don't associate myself personally with who I am on Twitter versus who I am as, like, a creator or as a person. I just do it because, like, it's just a really easy way for people to, like, discover me, and I can do other things with that. Where, like, it's like, what do you want to be known for? Like, and, it's... There are ways, you know, like... There's ways to get to be getting ahead, sure, like, you know, not surefire ways, but there's ways to be getting ahead, and, like, there's, like, if you just want to be known for numbers, you know, I think it's counterintuitive, you know, you want to be known for, like, just having something you love doing, right? And I think that's more important.
Yeah, and this is where, like, those conversations like find your niche come in, which I think a lot of people are kind of misunderstanding a little bit, because it's like, well, oh, I have to find, like, this one thing that, well, first off, there's that fear of, like, well, isn't that limiting if I'm only, like, looking for, like, a niche? I don't want to be in a niche. I want to be mainstream. I want to be big. I'm like, okay, you can get there eventually, but you kind of need to start figuring out, you got to start with that question of, what do you like to do? What do you want to do?
Right.
You know, there's a VTuber I recently came across named Amalia, who I think she's celebrating her 4-year anniversary soon. I discovered her a couple of weeks ago because I was uploading YouTube videos, and I found her from some shorts about Star Fox. And it was like, I think it was like right before the Galaxy movie came out. So, like, I think Star Fox was just on my feed, and it's like, oh, okay. But then I look at the rest of her content, it's like, oh, you have a lot of videos about Star Fox. I'm like, oh, is Star Fox like your passion, your niche? And you might think to yourself, how can anyone get big over talking about Star Fox?
Their time is now. Their time is now.
Well, the time is now. That's more like a happy accident in a way, because, like, we didn't know that Star Fox was going to get this big resurgence until literally a month ago. We didn't.
We didn't even know it was going to get this big until 3 days ago.
Well, I'm talking about, like, since back when it was revealed he was going to be in the movie.
Right, no, for sure. Like, that was already like, whoa.
That was already like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then, like, everything else kind of rolls after that. But so it's like, okay, cool, you found your niche, and it's almost like you're being rewarded for your niche. So now whenever something Star Fox related happens, everyone's going to be like, what's Amalia thinking right now? Which is sort of what I'm trying to do with Sonic and Mario right now. Because I also had, maybe also kind of retro games at large, because I'm been starting to talk about, like, the Star Fox conversation too. Talked about it today, debating on doing a video about it too.
Okay.
But everyone's doing a video about it, so, like, you kind of have to weigh those options in your brain a little bit. But when it came to, but you're like, oh, well, okay, so they talk about Star Fox, so they really, really love Star Fox, and they do other stuff, but obviously that's part of where their passion is. It's like, you can't get big just off of that. Like, they've got triple-digit viewership. Like you can make things. What's wrong with having a dedicated fan base revolve around the thing that you love and you hyperfixate about?
No, for sure.
You know?
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean,
like, you can be successful with that. Anyone who tells you you can't is a liar.
Right.
It's kind of a liar, you know?
I mean, and then, even then, when I think about, like, some of, like, the biggest, like, I'm talking, like, you know, not even VTubers. I'm just thinking, like, hugest creators I think about and know. they like only do one thing. I off the top of my head, like think about Jinxie. I don't. Do you know Jinxie?
I don't think I do.
Okay, it's one of the bigger streamers on all of Twitch. You know, in the like top 100, maybe even the top 50, I think. All they do is just stream and talk about Rainbow Six Siege. That's all they do. Like occasionally now they like someone invites them to play something else, and because they're popular enough, they can just do whatever. And you know, but all they want to do is just play Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm like, go for it, just like enjoy it. You know, and I think that is like, I think a lot of creators, and I think this is like a mentality where people have like mistaken and I don't think obviously everybody wants to make $1. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But like I do think that is like when you think about content creation as a money making method, I think it's like the cart before the horse kind of scenario. Where like
a little bit, yeah.
We're like you could probably make money off maybe, you know, a little bit here and there, but like you just got to do it for the love of the game first. If you make money out of it, like congratulations, like you scratch the miracle golden ticket that like, you know, like I don't know if you saw a couple of years ago there was like an audit done on how much money people who make on Twitch make on average, and like it's not a lot. It's actually like even like the, you know, people with like
it's really not a lot.
It's not a lot. It's not. Even people with like, you know, 4-digit CCVs, they're not making a lot, you know. They're not making a lot, you know. It's not until you start getting into like the 5-digit CCVs that you start making any considerable amount of money, like even so, like, you know, you just gotta do it because you like it. You kind of
or at the very least it's got to start there. Like you can. Here's the thing though, it's kind of like there's a lot of things you can do that will eventually make you money.
For sure.
You know. Little lore drop. I went to law school. I'm a law school dropout.
Hell yeah.
And would I have been a good lawyer? Probably. But after about a year and a half in, I'm like, I hate this. I want nothing to do with it. But think about like the money and the success. I'm like, that means nothing to me if I am not enjoying myself in some way, shape, or form. So it's like, you could argue that going from wanting to be a lawyer to being a silly furry with big tits on the internet is a downgrade. But it's like, sure, maybe I won't make as much money as a white collar worker. But one, I don't need that to feel happy.
Exactly.
And two, I would rather stay up till 3 a.m. looking up new outfits or trying to figure out a new redeem or something that coincides with this new upcoming stream I want to do or anything like that. I'd rather do that than staying up till 3 a.m. reviewing case study.
No, for
or waking
sure.
up early in the morning and like going to like a judge's office and just observing things quietly and boringly. It just doesn't. It just doesn't make me happy.
This does not spark joy. This does not
spark joy, Marie Kondo.
No,
it does not.
I'm glad you. I feel like maybe that's popular enough, but I'm glad you know that one. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know the Marie Kondo method.
We know the Marie Kondo. All right, Raiders. Well, I'll start. You know, I've been yapping, but we're supposed to be making music, so we're just gonna put some stuff on the side while we keep yapping. All right, while we keep yapping.
Is it okay if I go refill my water?
Yeah,
I actually forgot to before I sat
go
down.
for sure.
Give me 2 minutes.
No problem. The more I'll say hi to the Raiders. Hello, Raiders. Hi. I love you all. How are you doing? I feel like I haven't said hi to you properly yet today. I love you all. Thank you for coming in. I know we're usually playing fighting games here. Hi, Okuyasu. Hi, Remni. Hi, 02. How you all doing? Hi. I saw Red Spy. I saw Shadow King. I saw my homie Rico Tarts. I saw Ron Peanut Cubs. Hi, Crow. I hope you've all had a very lovely Saturday. Hi, yo, bro and Swab. What you doing? Y'all better be cooking in we're cooking in the kitchen. We're cooking in the Dexter's lab, motherfucker. Can you get a shout out for Bronze? Thank you for shouting out Bronze. I really appreciate it. I hope you've all had a very lovely Saturday. I went to go get groceries. But I also went to Popeyes and I got the fucking Popeyes Luffy bento box, and I'm kind of mildly disappointed again. I think we've talked about it, but like in the Luffy bento box. Hi, Nikki, how you doing? I think I am making, but you know, I think I know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We won't be able to fix it, but it's all right. Just live with it. Just live with it. Just live with it. That must have cost me. It did. It cost me an arm and a leg. But like, I got the Luffy bento box, and inside the Luffy bento box, there is 2 pieces of chicken, not 1 piece. Why?
Yes, I'm drinking. The fuck does that mean?
Welcome back.
Hey, I went to go get water, and my brother's like, "You're drinking water?" I'm like, "Yes." I thought you ran on Coca-Cola and coffee.
Oh shit.
Accurate, but
Oh,
I
no.
will die if
We'll die.
I only drink those. So.
Hi, Zen Rebel. Welcome. All right. I know you said you like Sonic. Like Sonic has a bit of like a pop rock and sometimes even drum and bass. So I kind of was like thinking of some stuff, and I just kind of like went and grabbed a rock loop, and maybe we can work around it. You know, something simple, nothing too crazy. So we can work around while we make music. While we make some tunes.
Yeah, show me some tunes.
Show me some tunes. And you know, just something simple. What were we talking about?
We were talking about enjoying content, like enjoying the content that you make, or starting with enjoying content that you make, and then everything else kind of follows suit afterwards. And I think you can have your cake and eat it too. Like, for example, I am ultimately scripting shorts and making videos off of what I enjoy, and even streaming off of what I enjoy.
Right.
But I do still try to think, how can I market this? How will people like this? Where can I go with this? And I think content creation, I think people work in reverse, where they start with something that's popular and then ask themselves, how can I enjoy this? When in reality, it should be the opposite. It should be, what do I enjoy? How can I make this popular?
No, that's so true, right? It is, you know, so in like, for example, in the fighting game space, I love fighting games. I love streaming fighting games. It's I think if like there's a couple of reasons why I don't usually stream, despite music production being like I think my favorite thing in the world. I don't stream music production because I don't actually quite there's just like metrics of music production, and sorry, not metrics, but there's just like little nuances of streaming music production that makes me kind of like not like streaming it. For example, like usually like I'm actually like to make music, you kind of have to just kind of like sit quietly and just be like, and that I don't think that's like a fun stream. Like I don't think that's like a fun streaming experience for people watching. And it's also just not a fun streaming experience for me doing it because, you know, it's just me sitting here like quietly like looking at a screen, go like. Like,
honestly, I feel the same way about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and it like even like every now and then, even when like I'm talking to people in the background, I'm like kind of just going through Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, for example, why the fuck is that card so expensive? Fuck you, TCG player. But I kind of made a rule for myself that I don't think I would stream Yu-Gi-Oh because really? I don't. Maybe sometime in the future, but for right now, I don't see myself streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Master Duel or anything like that. Because, one, it's nice to have something that is separate from streaming, you know?
For sure.
Like something you enjoy that's separate from streaming that you can, like, maybe chat with people in your Discord or other friends about. And two, it's like, at this point, I don't know how I can make streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Fun.
Right, no, for sure. For sure.
And if I'm in like a hard duel or something, I'm gonna get very quiet. I'm gonna lock in, and I don't know if that's gonna be entertaining to anybody that's watching. You know?
Absolutely, I feel the exact same way. And like so, and to pivot back on how something I think like when I started streaming fighting games, I could like. In the fighting games, in the Twitch.tv, FGC fighting game streaming ecosystem, like if you quote unquote want to grow, you're gonna play Street Fighter. Street Fighter is like the every average streamer, like as long as you have like if you can manage to break into like the 20 viewer average, and within like 6 months, you'll start breaking into like 60, 70. It's like people have done the math for it. Like, hi, how you doing, Jin? But like, holy fuck, I hate streaming Street Fighter. It is the most miserable fucking experience for me because like that game is so much harder than every other fighting game I play, and I just like, I just wouldn't be fun. It just wouldn't be fun. It just wouldn't be fun. And so that's I say like you gotta keep it like fun for you first and foremost. You gotta keep it fun for you. If you're not gonna have fun with it, no one's gonna have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Wholeheartedly agree. It is very much a thing where it's like you have to enjoy what you are doing, and then again, the fun is in finding the best way to make it interesting enough for other people to find fun and enjoy.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You really have to find a niche. What is a genre? You said you told me you like rock. You told me you like rock, but like, what when you vision like, let's say like, do you have an intro screen? Hi Ricky, how you doing? Do you have like an intro music BGM?
I do have an intro screen. Hold on, let me
let
me find it. Are you barking at me because I closed the door? Sorry. Bye. Why are you in my room if you don't want to stay? She's so indecisive because she comes into my room and she lays in her bed, and I heard my family in the hallway, so I'm like, oh, I'll close the door. Close the door. And then she looks at me like, hey, open it. And I'm like, okay. And I open the door and she just walks out, and I'm like, why are you here?
I'm here. You didn't want to be here in the first place.
Why are you here?
That sounds like a cat, but it's a dog, right?
Yeah, she's a little shih tzu. All right, so this is my startup screen.
All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear Volt's got cooking in that. Oh, but that's the visual.
You asked if I had any like startup music?
Yes, like a startup BGM. Like if you envision a startup BGM.
Lately I've been using other people's music though. Like I've been playing. It depends on what I'm streaming.
Okay.
Like or depends on like a theme or something. Like for example, on May 5th. I'm sorry, on May 1st, like last Friday, it's like I just played a bunch of Backstreet Boys music.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be May. So we just streamed a bunch of NSYNC and Backstreet Boy music in the background while I was chatting. Or if I'm playing Pokemon like what I did today, I'll play a bunch of the Pokemon soundtrack, like from the To Be a Master album that 4Kids put out. All of that is kind of, I guess that's more like pop rock in a lot of ways. Like pop or pop rock at best. So maybe closer in that vein. But then you also, and I guess that's sort of, I think there's always a ratio to it of like pop to rock feels. When it comes to Sonic, his stuff has always been more rock leaning with like dashes of pop and addictive percussion chords. But then when it comes to, I guess, other music I grew up on, it is very much like late 90s, early 2000s pop. Nowadays, I don't listen to as much music as I probably should. The most music I listen to is music from like anime soundtracks and stuff like that. But even then, it still leans into like pop or aggressive chords and stuff like that. So I'm really bad at explaining my taste in music. This is probably the closest you're going to get.
That's pretty strong, most people don't even have that, that I think a lot of people, when they think about like their, quote unquote, what I like about music, they severely underestimate just how much they like know. And how much I noticed that every time I talk to someone who says like, oh, I don't do music, I don't know anything about music. No, people know. People like music knowledge is is pretty intuitive. You kind of like feel it. You kind of feel it in yourself.
So, can you feel the love, Mr. Krabs?
Can you feel the love? God, why is it delayed like that? Anyways, I love my computers. I love computers. They always work. They always work. Audio always works. Always works.
Computers, they always work.
They always work. They always work. They always work. They always work. Right. But yeah. So speaking. So then thinking about it. So I had a thought, and then my brain just like let it disappear. So I'm gonna just shift to a completely different thought.
It's okay. It'll come back.
It'll come back. If it's meant to come back, it'll come back. It'll come back. So I know you like Sonic, and I guess most people like Sonic, like the Sonic music, music. What era of Sonic did you kind of like grow up with?
That's so tricky because I originally became a Sonic fan. So the Genesis came out when?
Okay,
1990.
Genesis.
Well, it's weird because let me double check.
We're about to
real
age
quick.
you.
I mean, my birthday's like in a week and a half. I'm gonna be 33, so yeah, I'll date
Wait,
myself.
you're gonna be 30? Oh shit, I'm older than you. Oh no.
Yep. Enjoy that. Let's see. The Genesis came out in America in 1989.
Wait, you're a Taurus then? Are you a Taurus?
I'm a Taurus, yeah.
Oh, I knew I liked you.
Yeah. And so the Genesis came out in 1989. I was born in 1993. My parents had me about 2 years after they got married. But my dad did enjoy playing video games a bit when he was younger. And my mom got him a Genesis as like a gift when they were dating. Aww. And my dad gave that Genesis to me and my brothers when we were very, very young. So we've had that Genesis for decades. I still have it. It's on my shelf. And one of the first video games I ever remember playing was Sonic 2. Nice. On the Genesis. It was like Sonic 2 and Street Fighter 2 and that like Disney Aladdin game.
Oh, that's a classic.
So I grew up on those games, like the early 16-bit games. But then and I did watch a little bit of Sonic X when I was older, and like it aired on like 4Kids and stuff like that. But unfortunately, ironically, when the console war ended for Sega, with the Dreamcast, all of those Sonic games started shifting over to Nintendo consoles, which I did not own. I never owned an N64. I never owned a GameCube.
Oh, no.
I owned a Wii, but at that point I was already indoctrinated, but also because everyone owned a Wii, but at that point I was also indoctrinated by Sony, and that's where like the big franchises like Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper took over for me. If anything, it's almost like I jumped ship from Sonic, like one cartoony platformer, to other cartoony platformers because the PlayStation was just more appealing at the time.
Oh, for sure.
So that, if anything, and I started getting back into Sonic games during the Boost era, during like the mid to late PS3 era, when he started really going multi-platform. So I kind of skipped Sonic's Adventure era, which I think is the era a lot of people my age are the most nostalgic for.
Right? No, I am. I gotta tell you, I've had like rants about Sonic. How could I describe this? I'm like, they say behind every cynic is a disheartened idealist. I have like so many like. Cause I was like a Sonic kid, I was like a Sonic kid. Hi, Skaven. But I was like deep into Sonic. I had every game on the GameCube because I had a GameCube. I always had growing up Nintendo consoles. So obviously I got the adventure. I had my Chow Garden and everything. So like. The music, when I think about, it's like Crush 40 that really like when I think about Sonic music, that defines my like musical sensibilities when it comes to Sonic. But I guess that wouldn't be the same for you.
No, because the irony is that Sonic was kind of saved by its ability to, ironically, to be saved by being on Nintendo consoles, which, I mean, I have the handheld, and I think the closest was, I played Sonic Advance 2 for the Game Boy Advance. I love the Game Boy Advance. But that was probably the closest that I was able to really engage with Sonic during my most impressionable quote-unquote Sonic years, like during my teen era. And yeah, it's like Sonic's identity has always sort of been revolved around that music, but I didn't get exposed to a lot of iconic Sonic music, like with Crush 40 and stuff, until very late into my life. And if anything, I got more accustomed to the music before I found them in the games. Like Live and Learn, I listened to a million times on my own before I first ever saw it in the context of the games, because I only beat Sonic Adventure for the first time a couple months ago.
Oh my gosh. Also, Jin very excitedly wants to tell you and share with you, Bolts, that says they love their Genesis so much. They had 5 fighting games on the Genesis and they still play it. They love their Genesis.
Nice.
Hi,
Nice.
thank you so much for following, Native Warrior Wolf. Welcome to your Things Corpse. Enjoy your stay. Yeah, like that's kind of like, cause like I have like, admittedly, and like I won't like go into it because I feel like that's how you start my video game is good, and the answer's going, no, it's not. I have like so many scathing things to say about like the video games of like the Sonic games that kind of like the last Sonic game that I played was Unleashed, and like I only liked the Werehog stages, which is like I think a lot of Sonic
You
fans.
monster.
Yeah, see, I knew it.
You monster.
I knew it. Like every Sonic fan goes like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" No one likes that. I'm like, I didn't like the way Sonic ran in the in his like regular stages. I felt like it was too on rails. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And because like, there's like that window of time where like, because like technically I was born in 93, but I didn't have a console. Like I only had like Nintendo consoles, so I never got to play. I only got to play the Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2, and 3 when they like came to the GameCube as like like in collections, in classic collections. So I never played. That wasn't my initial impression of Sonic. My initial impression of Sonic was like Sonic plays in 3D, and he's got like really free form movement in 3D, like really free form movement. And that was kind of like how my vision of Sonic was. That was my vision of Sonic.
I will say, as far as like the 3D stages go, I have grown a very strong fondness for the daytime stages in Sonic Unleashed. I would even argue that they are some of the best in the franchise to this date. It's not a very beginner-friendly game by a long shot, so I can kind of understand that, genuinely.
I don't even think it was hard. I'm gonna say something, hater. I thought it was too easy. I thought it was too easy. I was just, I don't know.
You're not making this easier, Ray.
I know. I'm sorry.
Was it just like you just didn't find it fun?
You know what it was? I felt that most of the time I was just really just like nailing the like dash button, and that's all I felt like I was doing. Like, I guess, and you know what it was? Like, if you played the adventure games, like there's like a lot of little secrets, like you can do you can go here, and like I think a part of me is like kind of nostalgic for this era where like you used to go to game facts and you like look up a guide and like you see like this is how you get Shadow's super special boots that lets him break these fucking boxes, and I'm like, oh, you can do that. And like I felt like those games didn't have that like adventure like quality to them, where like I think the later games, like that Unleashed era of games, they really wanted to like really hi Big Double, but they really wanted to make Sonic feel fast. You know what I mean? They really like that. They really like it's Sonic. He's got to go fast. And you know, Sonic feels fast in this game. Like he is fast in those games. But like to me, the fun of Sonic was just kind of like dicking around and like kind of like a platformer style and like just finding stuff. Hi, Canadian. And so I think that's what it was.
Oh, that makes sense. It's interesting because what you just described, it almost sounds like you were too good of a gamer to like get into what those styles of gameplay was about, because the idea is to maintain that speed for as long as possible. Because I still have difficulty with some of those stages. I just played an Unleashed mod the other day, and it's like, oh, like I have to go lightning fast, but I also have to be very precise and understand where the drift feature is and do all of this stuff. And you do have to have like really good reactions and understanding of the levels and of the design. But if you don't find it that interesting, then I guess that makes sense why it wouldn't leave that much of an impression.
Right, exactly. And like I guess like, you know, I had a different expectation for the game, where like the game really wants you to be like time trial, race to the finish. And I guess like that was just not my like that wasn't my vision when I thought of Sonic. Hi, Pody. Oh my god, I ain't got no ideas. Oh, Raiders, we're gonna get ads in 2 minutes. If you don't want any ads, consider going to YouTube for an ad-free viewing experience, or consider dropping us some you love me. I really appreciate it. No, but like it is formative. And then ever since then, I like look at the new Sonic games and I go like, it's that, and I feel bad, and I haven't been able to give them a try. I always feel like I know I'm not gonna like this the way it used to be. I miss you, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure DX. But I don't want to be a hater. I feel like I'm just a hater.
You miss that era of gameplay.
Yeah, I miss that era of gameplay where it was. I just like I know everybody really, for example, even especially like Sonic Adventure 2, but like I really loved. My favorite one was like DX, because like it was just like an adventure game where, you know, you're just kind of walking around the overworld and you're like kind of like discovering stuff, and it was just fun to me. It was just like I guess it's just that like it's counterintuitive, but I like it when Sonic is slow. So not making my case any better.
And you didn't like Frontiers.
Frontier, that's the one where you make your own dude? Is that the...
No, that was Forces.
That was Forces.
Frontiers was the latest Sonic game where they put Sonic in like that big open world.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't like that one, but for like, I really Kanaeru, but for an entirely different reason. I'm like an open world hater. I'm an open world. I like this is.
I like when Sonic is slow and you can experiment and do all this stuff.
This is problem. Don't
like, put me in an open world.
Exactly. Like I like a little bit of freedom, but the too much freedom, I'm like, oh my god, it's too much. Like put me in the pool, not the ocean, please. Put me in the pool, not the ocean.
I guess that makes sense why you prefer the adventure era, because it is free, but it is also restrictive.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
Okay, that makes sense. Then what did you think of Sonic 06?
I like recognize and I understand that like Sonic 06, and I was actually like watching my friend Scarlet Crow play this game recently, and I recognize that this is like, by every metric imaginable, a terrible game.
Oh no, I'm not liking the butt that's coming.
But I kind of like it.
Sentence.
I kind of like
Why?
it. I kind of like it. I kind of like hearing, like, I kind of like getting into the fight with Silver, and he keeps telling me it's no use. I think it's just fun and goofy, and like seeing the bugs happen. You're just sometimes like, okay, I guess that's just the game. But I just like the like exploring. I like the walking around it. Not a big fan of the princess, admittedly. I never was. I always thought like that's kind of weird. You know, you're kind of like if you were like cartoonishly human, you look like a cartoon character, quote unquote human. I'd be like, okay, like I get it, like it's fine. But like she's kind of supposed to look like quote unquote a real person. And I'm just like, this weirds me out. I'm not a fan of that.
You don't like Elijah Thornberry?
I'm no. I could have better. Think about that streak, and he said, think about that streak that it owes.
That's so interesting. But okay. Is it like you like the idea of Sonic 06, or do you like it as it is?
I think if the game, I'm gonna say this. I think this is like a hot take. I think if someone went back and like completely patched the game, like just made it bug free, I think it would be like sitting in like top 6 Sonic games of everybody's list.
Okay.
I say that straight face.
So you mean Project 06?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't they do that? Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
There are a lot of dedicated fans that are remaking the game from the ground up as it was supposed to be,
right?
Ostensibly,
right. Why did that game even like fumble? Like what do you like? Because like, even as a child, like a teenager, I knew that game was like fucking messy. But like, why did they do that?
Typical situation of they tried to rush a high budget AAA title that was supposed to come out on multiple platforms, gave it a rush release, came out on new hardware at the time because it was for PS3 and Xbox 360, which a lot of developers were having trouble developing for. I think the 360 was a bit easier to develop for the PS3, but the PS3 had a rough couple of early years as it was it was suffering a little bit like Nintendo did, where it's like, no, we can do whatever the fuck we want and people will buy our shit. But yeah, no, it was, there were a lot of things going on. This was also around the time that like
Dr. Trek, thank you for the subby,
was taking over to work to dub the games as well. So voice direction was a bit all over the place. They were confused about the art direction, which is why the humans look so weird compared to the character models. They put a lot of stock in this game and just did not give it the brevity that it absolutely needed, which is a very, very, very common pattern arguably with everybody.
Right.
But Sega has done that a lot. Almost every major anniversary, because it was also supposed to be like a big reboot of the franchise and an anniversary title. It was also supposed to be a reboot of the franchise.
It was? I didn't know that.
Yep. It was supposed to be a reboot of the franchise and an anniversary title. And I think almost every anniversary game that Sega has put out for like the past 2 decades has had problems. Because, there was Sonic 06. No, Sonic Generations was good. Sonic Generations was good. That was probably the best.
That's the one I know least about, but I've heard it's really good.
It's probably one of the 3D games that is the most remembered fondly. Looking back on it, I still have some issues with it. Ironically, it's them trying to recapture the 2D appeal in a 3D space. I think the 3D levels were actually really, really good. But after that, we had Sonic Forces. No, after that, we had Sonic Boom. Right. And then after that, we had Sonic Forces. And they both Sonic Boom suffered from, we're going to reboot the franchise, and we're going to redesign everybody, but we're also going to make this game only available on a platform that we are criminally underprepared to develop for, the Wii U. And even at I was playing Sonic Boom last week for the first time, because this is also a good example of doing something for content versus doing something because you enjoy it. I played Sonic Boom not because I wanted to, but because I thought I was going to get good content out of it. And I did get some good content out of it. But I reached a point where I was like, I'm not having fun playing this game at all. I'm not. Like, not even, like, I went through all of Sonic 06, and I don't mean an emulator. I played OG Sonic 06. I streamed it right off of my PS3.
Oh,
and
fuck.
I played that game for like 20 hours, and I went through the whole thing. It was garbage. There was a lot of times where I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? But I got through it, and me and my community came back stronger because of it.
I love that.
I think I agree with you where it's like, you know what? I can kind of see where the passion was.
Like, there was something there.
I can kind of see. I could close my eyes and think to myself, wow, if this was fixed, I could see a good game here. I look at Sonic Boom and I close my eyes and I'm like, if this game came out the best it possibly could, it would still be a boring piece of shit. Because it's not a Sonic game. It is. Do you remember? Do you or anybody in chat remember Crash Bandicoot?
Of course. Hi, Double Ojo.
Do you remember the bad Crash Bandicoot games?
No, I don't.
Like Rise of the Titans or Mind Over Mutants.
I know Mind Over Mutants. I didn't play it, but I know it.
Sonic Boom is the Mind Over Mutant of the franchise, where it's like, hey, what if we made a game that had nothing to do what originally made this game so fun and appealing? And we redesigned everybody, and we kind of just rewrote everything, so it's basically an empty shell of its former self. That's what Sonic Boom was.
Oh no! Just a husk. Just
empty husk.
Piloted. You know, you're meant to look like what you see, but you're nothing. How dare
you're not what you're.
How like, dare you stand this place?
Sonic Boom is Sonic turning into the very franchise that it made fun of when it first came out. It's like, you don't want to play a slow, boring platformer or game. You want something fast and with attitude to play Sonic Boom. Wow, this is a really slow, boring platformer that I'm just mashing buttons all the time. And it, like, even when it was performing at its best, I'm like, I'm so bored, guys. I'm so bored. Hey, look at that. Sonic and DC came out with crossover comics. Can we just stare at those panels for like a few hours instead of playing this game? And here, you want like a direct correlation. You want a perfect example of how playing something for content versus doing what you love is different. Viewership went up as soon as I switched over to that.
Absolutely.
Because people could tell and people could hear in your voices like, oh, this is something you care about. This is something you're hyper-focusing on in like a good way. So it's like, and it's like, guys, we're just going to drop this game. I'm not going to finish this game. No one cares.
No one cares.
If you finish this game or not. Because you're not enjoying yourself if you're finishing this game or not. And it's always like finding that good middle ground, you know? It's always kind of finding that middle ground. And now you look at where Sonic is right now, and it's like, kind of like what I was telling you about Amalia with Star Fox. I picked a good time to hyper-focus on Sonic, because Sonic is eating good right now.
Wait, what's going on with
Sonic
Sonic right
eating
now?
So good right now.
What's going on with Sonic right now? I'm like out of loop.
It's Sonic's 35th anniversary.
Okay.
They have the Sonic Racing game, which has been getting updates and content ever since it came out for the past 6 months.
Nice.
Like every month there is a new event or new character that is getting dropped.
Wow.
It is basically the Smash Brothers of the franchise.
Wow.
It's a fun a kart racer on its own. A lot of people even say it's better. It basically gives you the high speed nonsense races that people wanted from Mario Kart World.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen the comparisons of the two. If I was gonna pick a kart racer, I'd pick the Sonic one. That one just looks fast. It looks good.
Yeah. And even if you don't like any of the DLC characters, which is fine, which is interesting because they got SpongeBob in there. They're gonna get Avatar in there.
What?
They're getting the Ninja Turtles in there.
I didn't know.
They got Miku in there.
Fucking what?
They got Pac-Man in there. It's why the fuck not?
Right? That's gonna fucking
they got
baller.
Minecraft in there. It is the ultimate crossover racing game.
And
even if you don't like any of those characters, the mod community for this game is insane. get it on PC. I think it just had like a price drop. Get it on PC. Look up how to mod the game, which is super easy. I stream that game like every other week with like a different set of mods. There's like different outfits for pre-existing characters. There's new characters that you can add. You could play as Doug Dimmadome from Fairly Odd Parents.
I love that dude. You know, there was I don't know if you ever heard about before this Sonic Kart Racer. I forget what the full name is actually right now. But Crossworld, yeah. But there was this like Doom, like original Doom mod Sonic Kart Racer called like SRB. And like I remember I was like really into this game because it was like just like a niche little community, like playing a little modded version of Doom that like made it. And I remember I knew the Sonic Kart Racing was going to do good because I remember how excited people were for this game, and I knew that it did good because as soon as that Sonic Racing game came out, that entire community fucking died. Like no one was playing this like niche Doom mod version of Sonic Kart Racing. No one played that real game. I've actually like hopped onto your streams a couple times, and I always see you. I see you playing it quite often. Not always anymore. I used to see you playing it always.
It's become a staple game for me in a lot of ways.
Right. And it just looks like a fun game. It looks like a really good fucking game. I don't like these chords.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun mods and things you can play with it. There's even some not safe for work mods, which are very fun. Can't show those on
Twitch.tv.
Nope. But it's fun. So already, and Sega's come out and been like, hey, we know people mod the fuck out of the game. As long as you're not like cheating during online play or during like the online tournaments, we don't care. Go. And as long as like obviously don't stream this character being naked or something on Twitch, we don't care.
Right.
Like go have fun. Again, Sega's been very open about letting the community have fun.
That's good.
And you know, last year we had Shadow Generations. The year before that we had the Sonic 3 movie. So like things were going really well with that. We a lot of hype is for the upcoming movie that's coming out next year. We recently just had a radio show. What? Sonic just put out a radio show focusing on Sonic side characters where they introduced comic characters that people have wanted to show up in the mainline series for years.
They're gonna like put Sally into the games proper?
No.
Don't think so.
Oh god. Oh, you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know the history.
I don't know. I mean, I've read the Ken Penner's comics. You know, I used to read those every fucking weekend.
What do you know about Ken Penders?
Oh, I know, like they're weird.
Why he's not writing and working with Sega anymore, right?
Yeah, like the whole legal battle. Like he even got really. Don't think you got Miki Tentas. You guys got a kiss. Mwah! Think it kindly. Like the whole when he had in Sonic 2, the second Sonic movie was the Knuckles one, right? Yeah, I'm not crazy, right? That was
yes.
He had like a big fit about like the way they did Knuckles' lore in that movie, and he was like threatening legal battle. He's like, I'm gonna sue Sega. And
he's been threatening legal stuff since forever. Since forever.
Yeah.
I think the last big like legal stink he did was when Sonic had an RPG called like Sonic and the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah,
I think was its name. And the story of that, it was bad. It was a bad RPG. Bad RPG, bad sound mixing, a whole bunch of things. But the story focused on the Echidna lore, and he is very hyper obsessed with the Echidna lore.
He's got his OC
because
crush.
I guess he just really loves Knuckles.
And his like OCs in there that he like definitely has a crush on.
Yes.
Which we've all been there.
Look, I do not blame him at all. And regarding and he put up a big legal stink about that. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. There we go.
Thank you, Shadow.
And he put a big stink about that because the story of that game was so heavily tied to the Echidnas. And he's like, how dare you guys like use the Echidna lore? And it's like, and he got pissed about the Sonic movie because they specifically did the Echidna lore.
Yeah.
They basically rewrote the Echidna lore for Knuckles in that movie, so Ken would not cause a stink, and that's why he was pissed. It's like, you didn't use the Echidna lore. It's like, well, if we did, you would sue us, you idiot. So of course we're not going to do it. So a lot of Sonic fans, even people that like Archie, because he was the main writer and artist for the Archie comics.
I love those Archie
a lot of
comics,
people that like Archie, and they like a lot of what it did with like the Sad AM show and Sally and stuff. Even they're like, Ken, you gotta shut the fuck up.
He fucked us. He fucked us.
He fucked us hard.
Right?
So the current comics that have been coming out for like the past, I think they just celebrated their 8-year anniversary, is the IDW comics.
Which I heard are really good.
And they are pretty good. They are pretty good. Not every arc is amazing, but like, I like them. In fact, someone got me a hardcover copy of like the first collection off my throne, and I love this thing. It looks so good. It's got some of my favorite Sonic characters in it. Honestly, I know a lot of people miss Sally and Bonnie and stuff. I really like a lot of the new characters that the IDW comics introduce. Nice. And the thing about the IDW comics is that unlike the Archie comics, the IDW comics are more or less canon to the games.
Oh.
So, in fact, the IDW comics start directly after the ending of Sonic Forces.
Oh, shit.
But now, obviously, none of the arcs nothing that happens in the comics really impacts the games that much. The idea is that like the game events happen in between arcs in the comics and vice versa. But like, there was a big question. It's like, okay, well, how canon are they? Is this just something that they're saying in Sonic Frontiers? Because it's not like the characters in the comics show up in the games, even though there's only really been like 2 mainline Sonic games that have come out in the past 8 years. So it's like, well, what can you do exactly?
Right.
But a lot of people are wondering, it's like, are we ever going to bring these characters to the games? I think in Sonic Frontiers, Sonic makes some offhanded references to some of the characters that show up in the comics, like Tangle and Whisper and stuff. But we never get to see them. But these past couple of months has been all about some of the comic characters. They're showing up in the mobile games.
Wow.
They're showing up Tangle and Whisper, who I call Sega's favorite lesbian couple. Showed up as DLC characters in Sonic Cross Worlds, which is the first time that comic characters ever have appeared in a Sonic game.
I see.
And they showed up in a, the Team Chaotix?
Of course, yeah.
They got their own radio drama on YouTube. And it was good. It was good, and it was fun, and everybody liked it. And those comic characters showed up in that radio drama with voices for the first time ever.
Wow. So yeah, Sonic's eating good right now, huh?
We're eating good. We're eating very good. We're eating so good right now that I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need a mainline Sonic game right now. I don't want them to rush a new mainline Sonic game right now, because every mainline game they have put out has felt like it was rushed. And I think that's because Sonic and Sega have been very scared that if they don't put out a mainline game that is going to redefine the universe or something, then the franchise is going to die. In fact, they have said as much. With Sonic Frontiers, they're like, oh, if this game did not do well, the franchise might be dead. Thankfully, it did really well. And a lot of people like the direction and the writing and everything. And it's like, it felt like a good new jumping off point for Sonic, because since Frontiers came out, Sega's been hitting it out of the park in the past like 2 years. It's been doing the franchise has been doing extremely well. And I'm like, you know what? This is good. This is good. It's good that we're showcasing that this franchise can kind of exist, not necessarily without Sonic, but it doesn't need to 100% revolve around him in order to be fun and successful, you know?
That's true. That is, and like, you know, when I think about it, because like, really, I feel like them rushing it did a lot more harm to the IP than, because I genuinely sit here and think, like, you know, I sit there and think that for all of the 2010s, and I don't know if this is just a me thing, but you know, Sonic in my like youth, like Sonic was like, Daddy won't think it's on the rain. Welcome to this. How you doing? We're hanging out with Bolts Mechanic today. I hope you're having a lovely afternoon. Hi. We're talking about Sonic right now. But before I was you know, for all 2010s, Sonic was like my youth. Sonic was cool. You know, people liked Sonic. But then like there was like a huge cultural shift around Sonic in like, you know, the 2010s where like people didn't like him and like there weren't good games. At least I didn't feel like there were good games. And so I'm kind of like, I don't know how Sonic survived to the 20. I don't know how Sonic survived to the 2010s. Brutally honest, I like can't think of it. I can't imagine why or how.
It is difficult to say. It's one of those things where I do agree with you. Where it's like, wait, why didn't Sonic die after Sonic 06? Why didn't Sonic die after Boom? I think that just shows that how powerful Sonic is as an IP, as this defining element of video games, because I think any other franchise would have died.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Sonic has such cultural stamp. Like, I you know, it is a little bit extreme to say, but it is kind of like the Disney of the game universe, where like this has just so much nostalgia baked into it. Like, I really like, when I think of like the late 90s and like the 2000s, like, oh my god, this fucking character, like my whole like name, Raycall, the whole thing, this is like, this name, I got it off of my fucking Sonic OC. That's where my name is from. That's that was I don't know, I think I maybe told chat that before, but that's where Raycall, the name, comes from. It was like this like Sonic OC that like me and my friend were like kind of like co-making, like indie game that we were co-making together, and then, you know, we were fucking like high schoolers, so obviously we fucking fumbled that. Hi Alex, how you doing? But still, the idea of like who the character was like stuck with me, and that was like how much I loved Sonic. Like, I was like, it was everything to me.
I do wonder if like Mario fucked up as much, do you think he would have survived?
You know what? I think already, like, Nintendo, now this is kind of like a weird thing to say, but I think Nintendo doesn't care about Mario, and they have like no actual investment in like, obviously they do, but like they don't care to and don't want to like quote unquote push the like Mario like IP anywhere, because Mario is in a similar vein. Like how many Mario games do we get in a decade? Like mainline Mario games.
I mean, if you include the kart racers,
not even the kart racers. Like,
I mean, we get like two or three games in a decade. There was a time where we got a Mario game every other year with the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Right, and like, I think Nintendo has like just such a different chokehold on the industry that like they don't need to like, it's maybe even safer to just have him just be a mascot than, you know, quote unquote make a shitty game.
Well, that's just it. They've never made a shitty game,
right? Okay, but like, okay, culturally, like, I mean, like, receptively, yeah, like, I don't think they've ever made a bad game. But I don't know. I haven't been impressed with like Mario games since the first Galaxy. What's a hi, Shadow Tales? I don't know. I think like the level, like Odyssey, I don't know, I like, maybe you totally disagree with me, but like I like see Odyssey, and I thought Odyssey was like such a fun idea, but like when I look at the level design, like everything feels like super flat and like nothing like, and I guess they kind of just wanted to have like it'd be more about like the gimmick, like the hat gimmick, but like I don't know, it just didn't like nothing like for example, I like think of like Sunshine, for example, and I just think it was just such like they used to craft what I feel is like really, and it's a really weird thing to say when you think of like a Mario game, but this is actually this is a thought I have, is I used to feel a really immersed feeling from playing a Mario game. I used to have like a really immersed feeling. Like just super like, I felt like things felt like a real location. Now I look at like Odyssey, and like I look at the I just look at the levels and everything's just like perfectly sculpted. Everything feels perfectly, you know, like everything just like it's like we've just had a polygon tool shape the polygons into perfect shapes, and it feels weird where like I don't feel like there's like this like push to like make a platformer, and maybe they don't care, maybe I'm just like crazy and I care too much about something that doesn't really matter, but I just feel like the platforming element of Mario isn't the same and as like interesting, higher King, as it once was. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think I'm a little confused because is the problem that they just don't make more games in general? Or is it that the quality, because you brought up like Sunshine, for example, which is funny because I feel like that's one of the more divisive Mario games that they put out like during the GameCube era. And like if you're comparing it to back then, if you look specifically at the 3D games, they've only really had one major 3D game per console.
Yeah. They only have, yeah, right? Like, I guess you could say... No, yeah, you're right. Because the Wii U had... Galaxy 2.
The Wii U had 3D World. And... Yeah, the Wii U had 3D World. Odyssey was for the Switch. You can kind of count Bowser's Fury with that, but it was an expansion of 3D World. There was Galaxy and Galaxy 2 for the Wii, but it's kind of hard to count those as two games because they straight up admit, hey, Galaxy 2 is just a retread expansion of extra ideas that we didn't have time to incorporate into Galaxy 1. So it's more like, I almost consider that New Game Plus in some way.
Yeah, that's fine.
The GameCube only had Sunshine, and the N64 only had Super Mario 64. So... Is the complaint that you wish they had more games?
No, the complaint isn't I wish they had more games. The complaint is that I think the level design became very clinical. Very, very clinical. Do you know the hijinks I give us? Where like, okay. I have to just show you a picture. You can still see my like screen, right? And everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Random level from Sunshine. From Mario Sunshine. I don't know, like an image. Please don't show me porn. Okay, like, if you look at this, like, can I open this image bigger? Open image, new tab. Like, everything feels like obviously, yeah, there's like here at the top, like it's obviously like a shape, but nothing feels like perfect per se, I want to say. And like I go random level from Mario Odyssey. Sorry, I don't know, and like I guess this one's like fine, but I just feel like a lot of I feel like a lot of it looks like can I just get the picture, please? Open image in the tab. Like everything feels, I don't know, like very clean. Like just like I look at these like corners, these walls, it's just like perfectly angular walls. And like I don't know. It doesn't spark joy. It doesn't spark joy for me. It just just like a super pedantic complaint. I understand. I know it is. I know it is.
Well, what does spark joy?
I like how like the textures don't feel clean here. Like everything feels super like this feels, and I know it's like a weird thing to say, but this feels like someone went to a location and drew a picture of that location and like then came to the game and put it in the game, whereas here someone, you know, just went on Blender and went like flat plane, curve edge, straighten edge, and then we're like, that's level, baby. Like,
and you think Sunshine had that, but Odyssey didn't?
Yeah. Like again, I'm like no expert. Like this is like even right now, like I can like look even harder, and I can go like, for example, like I can prove my own argument wrong. Because like this looks, but then again, I don't know. Like these walls, like, it looks kind of angular. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's hard to make the argument of whether or not something feels alive when you just show a screenshot.
No, for sure.
Because
for sure, that's
if
valid.
you look at Odyssey, I can kind of understand like the island in Sunshine feeling very alive, like you see the inhabitants and stuff like that. But so does Odyssey. Every location has like a bunch of characters running around and kind of like going about their day, whether it's the city or the desert-inspired area. I'm not very bad with names.
No,
or even like that area from the screenshot that you showed, you see a bunch of little chefs with giant utensils, like making food and stuff like that.
Right. And I guess alive is maybe the wrong word I'm looking for. Like I agree. This is alive. You know, there's a lot happening here, and it definitely is like. I would be lying to you and myself. Thank you for coming, to you and myself if I said that this wasn't like artistically profound. There's definitely there's definitely an art to this. There's like, and I'm not like saying this is bad. I'm not at any moment saying Odyssey is bad. I just, to put that on the ether, for whoever thinks that. I'm not saying that. I just like I guess to really, really hone in on the thought is I feel like the art direction is a lot more clinical. The art direction feels a lot more clinical than it did in previous titles. I think that's the thought. Like
formulaic? Or
no, it's just like, you know, like when you craft something in Blender, you know, you could like kind of either use the paintbrush or, you know, just use shapes. I feel like they just relied on like just using basic shapes. I feel it's the thought.
Okay, you might have to break it down a bit more.
Okay. All right, we're gonna pull out MS Paint for this one, baby. We're gonna pull out MS Paint. Can I do it?
Because I feel like you're
okay. What do you
bringing up technical terms to explain in artistic direction?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if those things work necessarily, because if we look at things from an overtly technical perspective, then it gets into a case, then it almost sounds like you're arguing whether or not something is a technical showcase, like an impressive technical showcase, versus whether or not something is invoking an emotional and social lived-in experience.
Okay, that's that one. That's like what I'm like trying to talk about. That's that last one. That last one is what I'm trying to talk about. Thank you.
And you think the newer games don't do that, but older games did?
Yes. Again, like totally my thoughts. I'm no expert, you know. Like I am like probably speaking from fucking nostalgia. I am probably like I am not an authority, but like I'm like I don't know. Like so here like to like kind of like paint this, like if I was to like paint my vision of what I thought, like this is like what I think my vision of, like, for example, again, like, and I understand people don't like Sunshine. I kind of like Sunshine just because like I'm a little nostalgic. I'm a nostalgic ass asshole because I grew up with the GameCube and like that's just my thought. So I think like when I think of Sunshine, I think of like here's a little hill and here's like Bowser Jr.'s shitty like art goop. And like, and then we got like a pretty little sun. You got the Delfino sun, and then you got like the water, and nothing here feels clean. Like I just like everything's like really rough, shitty lines. Whereas I think when I oh shit, okay, thank you for the metal pipe. When I think of like Odyssey, I think things were like like for example like instead of making a hill with like that I feel like things are made like here's the hill and like here's the sun and like and someone and then they went like and here's the water. Like I feel the tools that were used and I guess what I'm saying is the way the tools affect the art kind of matters. And like we've like completely deviated on the original question of do I think Mario could succeed? This is like a complete deviation. I guess my thought is what I guess to hone in back onto what the original thought was is I think the production of Mario became very safe. And it's evident in the tools because things feel very much made in a lab. I don't know.
I think there is a lot of argument. I think that's arguing two different things.
For sure. I could be.
I think when it comes to like, and this even extends to some of my thoughts recently about some things, like even you can even use Star Fox as an example. It's there's this idea of, I guess. Everything good?
I heard something disconnect. I switched my. I have to like alternate my computer. I just gotta keep going. You're good.
All good. Okay. It's I do think that every company. It's very easy to look at like every company and be like, this is a product. They're just making a product. There's not. Like any passion you might see or any impressive you might see, it's hard to look past. They are still trying to sell a product
for sure
at the end of the day.
And nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it until that idea supersedes what they are actually putting out. That's kind of my problem a little bit with the new Star Fox game because it feels a little bit like.
Yeah, like
this is being done to capitalize on something that they themselves are not that passionate about.
I saw your tweet about it. Yeah, that's actually a very good
argument. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, sorry. Go on. Sorry, I'm interjecting. Go on.
Like I actually have a very good argument that I don't think Nintendo cares that much about Star Fox as they let on sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but when it comes to Mario, I would almost argue they care a little bit too much. To the point where they want everything to feel so controlled that they will not put out anything regarding Mario unless it fits a specific mold and a specific package mentality. Now, are they still putting out things that are creative and innovative? Sure. With Wonder, they completely revamped the art style. They added different modes and different challenges, and basically took another step further with the 2D platforming aspect of that game. I think it's impossible to look at Mario Wonder and not think to yourself that is a quote unquote quality product.
They're all great quality. I do think they're all. I do think Mario games are quality products, like 100%.
But then I think I think this is why I will always prefer Sonic, because at least when Sonic fails at something, he is failing. And even if like the franchise gets misguided, there's still some degree of like innovative passion behind it. Like, I think the only game I could probably look at and be like, what the fuck were you thinking about was Sonic Boom? But everything else, it's like, okay, you tried something. You know, you failed at it, but you tried something. And I feel like with Mario, there's this. It almost feels like there's no risk with Mario.
Yes.
Because you know that everything that they do is the result of like a decade of people sitting at a table, thinking to themselves, is it worth this risk? Is it worth this risk? Is it worth this risk? Where sometimes you can't really account for that. And it gets, I think the movies, ironically, are a perfect reflection of that, where it doesn't necessarily feel like they are movies that are risking anything with the franchise or trying to do anything inventive with the franchise. It's just, here's exactly what you want to see. And that's it.
That's what I mean. Thank you. Like to circle back on like what I was talking about, this is like this. I understand, and this you like. I think we are like thinking in the same headspace, and I'm just like not explaining it well. This is like by every metric. Like this is like, for example, just Odyssey and the Mario movies. Like by every metric, this is good. This is like. We've checked the boxes, we've run the test group, we've had this cooking in the lab for like 5 years minimum. We know this is gonna hit. We know this is gonna hit. This is ugly. This is ugly, but like, we're just throwing it and we're gonna see if it sticks. And I like that.
I think also with like the GameCube example, that was during a time where they were also experimenting with new technology. In fact, part of the reason why they picked an island setting and why a lot of games on the GameCube had island settings was specifically because Nintendo was very, very proud of how the GameCube could render water.
Yeah, which is really pretty.
That's why its original development name was called the Dolphin.
Right, yeah. I love that. We all know, we love Dolphin.
So I think that's why there was this mentality, like when the GameCube came out, it's like, yeah, there was still probably this extent of, we know this is going to sell, but added on top of that, it's this idea of, hey, it's this idea of, hey, we made this because we thought this would be fun to do and play around with.
Absolutely.
And it did introduce mainstays of the franchise like Bowser Jr. and stuff like that. And I think that's ironically why I didn't always fuck with the new Super Mario Brothers games, because those did feel very formulaic after a certain point. Because it was just kind of redoing the same 2D Super Mario ideas over and over and over again. Whereas I think Wonder was like maybe the first time they started getting away from that with the 2D games.
Absolutely. And like, I think that is the feeling I have about Mario, and like why I guess I said wrong things, and thank you so much. I think you really put it into like how I wanted to word it properly, because it's not that they don't care about Mario. It's as you said, they care too much to the point where like they'll just yank the chain on it, be like, this is too crazy. It's too much. This is too much for Mario. And like, it feels stale. It feels like a little stale, and I think that's how they kind of want it. They kind of just want it to be like their nice, safe brand image, which is fine, I guess. Oh my god, I want to just circle back on something. I completely agree. They fucking hate Star Fox. I know it. I feel it in my heart. Someone in the Nintendo boardroom hates Star Fox, and I'm actually a huge Star Fox fan. It is one of my favorite games, and like a part of me is like just happy. Like I'm like, thank you for giving me Star Fox 64 again. I'll take this. I'll take anything. I grovel. But at the same time, I'm just like,
the Star Fox situation is so frustrating because it's an example of forcing people between a rock and a hard place that I understand, like, technically why it had to happen, but it makes me upset. It still makes me upset.
Right? No, me too.
Because there's this idea, well, first off, some people will be like, oh, what's wrong? Like, Nintendo finally cares about Star Fox again. I don't think this is an example of Nintendo being like, yeah, now is the time for us to finally give a shit about Star Fox again. No. The reason why I know this is because I'm gonna read you an interview about Star Fox being included in the latest Mario movie.
Oh, tell me.
Here we go. Fox McCloud appeared in the Star Fox Mario Galaxy movie primarily because producer Chris Meledandri of Illumination pitched the idea to Shigeru Miyamoto, who agreed because the film's space setting was a natural fit for the Star Fox franchise. The cameo was designed to test audience reception for future projects and foreshadow a potential Star Fox spin-off. It wasn't Nintendo's idea to have him in the movie.
Yeah.
They had to be convinced by Illumination.
Oh, and like the whole like, and this is a test. It's the Capcom test. It's the Capcom test. You guys, how much do you like it? Do you like it enough? Now you're gonna have to buy like 5 copies of fucking Star Fox. Fucking wait, what's the new one called? I think it's just called Star Fox, right? It's just called Star Fox. I'd have to buy 5 copies of fucking Star Fox just to like tell them, please,
potentially get a new game.
Please, just like, can we get a continuation? What happens after Assault? I fucking love. And this is like another. I feel like I have like awful gaming takes. Like a lot of people often tell me I just have awful takes about everything all the time because like I'm like I feel like I would be the kind of person that would tell you Superman 64 is good. And like not for irony. I don't know. I think some of these things are good. Like I don't know. You do you like Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes. Wait, did you say Superman 64? Or are you asking?
No.
Are you talking about like the OG, about the 2003 Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah. Like which one do you like more?
The manga.
Okay, sure, that's fine. No, it's not. 03 is just better. 03 is
no,
better.
It's not.
It's better.
No, it's not.
It's better.
It's not. The ending is full of plot holes. It completely retroactively fucks up its own lore. I hate that they go to 2000. I hate that they go to World War II Germany. And the concept of the gate is really stupid because it ends up turning it into this literal metaphysical thing where like you somehow harness energy from another dimension in order to perform alchemy, but like people in real world can kind of somehow do that. And it's like, and why the fuck is Envy a full-ass adult who can form coherent thoughts when he is the homunculus of a baby?
Right. But like, I don't know. I feel like when the proper, just to say making these Brotherhood or the manga, I feel like the ending just like devolves into fight after fight after fight, and I don't care about Father. Thank you for the minis, Remy. Have a good night, dude. Take care.
You're not supposed to care about Father. He's a douchebag that deserves everything that comes to him.
When I say about care, I don't mean like empathize. I mean like who the fuck is this guy? Why do I care he's the bad guy? I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, you care about he's a bad guy because he's fucking over the entire world.
But why?
And sacrificing the lives of thousands of people. Because he is literally a speck of dust in a jar trying to be important. He is the antithesis of the equal exchange mentality where obtaining ultimate power is worth the sacrifice of billions of people.
I get that. I get that. But like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't.
You care about the villain in 03?
Yeah, dude.
Why?
Okay. Okay. So to explain it, let me just to explain why I like Dante more. It's because Father just seems cartoonishly evil. Like it's just like this guy's just evil. Which like there's space for that in media. I get it. There's space for that. But like Dante just like felt like a more real human being that had like and like obviously awful and evil intentions.
What was her goal?
Her goal was
her
goal was immortality.
Why?
Her goal was immortality because she was like scared of death. She wanted to live forever and be ultimately like politically in control. Just wanted power. Because there is like that.
Gee, who does that sound like?
But like it just I don't know. Okay, fine. All right, fine, whatever. All right, fine. Okay, all right.
What's that? Someone who works behind the scenes amasses a group of broken homunculus slaves to spread their word and influence across a political militarized country that was built on the backs of blood and a conspiracy in order to obtain an absolute power that would allow them to just maintain absolute power till the end of time?
I don't know. I understand Dante's reason more. Like Dante's like I feel like okay, so like to get into like for example me I'm like fucking like I don't want to die, I'm like I want to live forever. It's like I get the motive. I feel like if I was father, like I'd be kind of like chilling. I'd be like, all right, I'm like immortal. Like I don't really need anything else. Like I'm already like in complete control of the system. Why am I rocking the boat? I don't need to rock.
But that's just it. The irony was that he
wanted more.
Always desired more.
Right.
Because he still sees himself as that speck of dust in a flask. Mm-hmm. So there's this idea. So the idea is that in a lot of ways, ironically, he had very human desires. Mm-hmm. He wanted more, which is kind of ironic that the creation that turns on him is greed.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Was the manifestation of his greed. But the homunculuses being, I will agree with you that I think the homunculuses have a better story revolving around them than the homunculuses in 03 than the homunculuses in Brotherhood. The idea that the homunculuses are kind of ghosts of failed human transmutations, mm-hmm. I think is a more interesting idea on its own. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thematically, I think it almost works better in Brotherhood because the idea is that father, mm-hmm. he became human. He tricked everybody into like trapping their souls and he ended up getting a human body. He escaped the flask and you would think, oh, I'm gonna go off and like enjoy the world. I'm finally out of that prison. But then he's like, but wait. Humans can still be in prison. Humans can still be trapped. If I become a god, no one will ever imprison me again. But how do I do that? I need subjects. I need power. Oh, I know. I can remove my sin. I can remove my emotions mm-hmm. and have them manifest as my children, thus becoming less human mm-hmm. in order to accomplish this goal. And the irony is that at the end of the day, it was basic human empathy and desire. Yes, it's a very shonen idea, right. But it was basic human empathy and desire that killed him. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when you strip away the Philosopher's Stone, when you strip away the god he was trying to obtain, when you strip away his immortality, what happened? He went right back to being that speck of dust in the flask mm-hmm. that was afraid. He's like, but I did everything. I became God. And he's like, yeah. But you never actually lived a life. You right. never valued anything that you came across. And anything that you did value, you just threw away to accomplish this goal. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how Dante didn't really have any other any values or empathy in people outside of just amassing power because that's all she had left. Mm-hmm. She didn't have her child anymore. She didn't have her husband, quote unquote. Hohenheim turned her back turned his back on her. The only children that she had were these leftover human beings that had no souls, that had no real desires of their own, that were just mistakes of other people. And you can maybe it would have been better if she felt actually some empathy for them, but no, they were just a means to an end. And I feel like you end up feeling for the homunculuses in 03 in a similar way to how I think you're supposed to feel, like, okay, maybe not feel, but like sort of understand the logic of what the Dusk in the Flask, what Father was supposed to feel in Brotherhood. Dante on her own is just a shadowy figure that doesn't even really become important until the final third of the series.
Right, yeah. Like, not at all. Like, you really don't hear about her until the very end. But I think...
Because 03 was following the manga until it caught up with the manga and had to go in its own direction.
Right, for sure. But I think, and I guess my thought is that... Excuse me, sorry. Like, it is that, like... I feel like the writing around... Fullmetal Alchemist around the beginning really consistently followed what 03 was, like the emotional feeling. And that's what I mean about, like, I feel like the ending of just to say the manga Brotherhood, like, it just really felt to me like it devolved into fights, which is what it is, you know. You may like that or hate that, but like good night, Haro. But like, I don't know. I think like,
did 03 not do the same?
No.
I mean, the last 5 episodes is
it's a lot of talking. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking, but that's just it. It's a lot of talking, but what does that talking amount to?
It's just like people's thoughts about like life. I don't know. It felt slower. It felt like, I don't know. It felt like like I feel like when I finished 03, I feel like I didn't watch like a happy ending. I felt like I watched like a very human ending that was like, you know, like it was like an ending that you want, but it didn't feel good. And I like that. Whereas in like I feel a lot of like Brotherhood, I'm just like constantly just like turning my brain off and like I'm just like here for the fights. I don't know.
But there's a lot of good conversation that informs those fights. And like the whole thing with the Major and how he never really, ironically, his fight with Scar made him feel more alive and human than he ever did before. Everything, you could argue that things are a bit more maybe stripped
real quick
back.
Can you hear the audio?
Yeah, I can hear it. Maybe things are a bit more stripped back because there's a lot more characters involved in the overall story, and the story does feel quote unquote grander because we're going to so many different locales and stuff. But here's the thing. There are nice conversations in 03, but what is 03 actually about?
Oh wait, you're right.
Like, what are those conversations?
Okay,
yeah, I'm asking,
okay.
What does 03 actually amount to?
Okay.
It, like, Brotherhood actually ultimately does end on a question that it poses at the very beginning of the series, and it's built off of and inferred through all of the different people and conversations that Ed and Al have with these people from various different countries and various different walks of life amounts to, like that whole idea of equivalent exchange. In 03, it kind of feels like they resign themselves to the idea of equivalent exchange and that there's nothing really beyond that, which is why like they kind of accept the sad ending because it's like, this is the price we paid for what we did, even though they arguably paid for that price throughout their entire lives. Whereas in Brotherhood, the ultimate message comes down to, we did pay for our crimes, like we still kind of have to pay for our crimes. Ed is still missing his leg. But now our goal is to prove that theory wrong, because if life is all about equivalent exchange, we should not have survived. We should not be here. The only reason why we are here is because of all the people that we met, because of all the experiences that we have, and because we were not alone in the end. Whereas with 03, it's like, and we're alone in the end.
Yeah, like I guess maybe I don't know. Also, hi. That's a name. Sloppy Toppy, Wet and Floppy. Never ever more good from a Cuban.
I love that name.
That's a good name. I love that name. I guess what I feel that 03 had is that I think there is a somber and okay acceptance in understanding that like not everything in life can be as you want it to be. But despite that, you work around and do with what you have. Because, you know, at the end, when he faces down with Dante and really the final fight is between Ed and Envy. Thank you. And Envy kind of reveals like, I'm technically your sibling.
Which still makes no sense to me. That scene where he's punching Envy and being like, show me what your real face looks like, and he shows it, it's like, oh, like I'm like your half brother. I'm sitting here like, you were a miscarriage,
right?
How are you an adult?
Right.
How do you know this is what you would have looked like actually?
I guess like a bit of it is like, it's wrong to say that the alchemy is like magic, because it's not per se.
It's not. It's science. It's magic.
It's science magic.
It's based off of real world It's based off of real world alchemic principles. But like the idea of, hey, because real world alchemy was, if we mix components together, it's basically the precursor to chemistry.
Right.
If we mix certain components together, we can get other things. The alchemy was supposed to be the logical extension of chemistry, where it's like we could make gold if we mix the right minerals together, or we could evolve as humans if we just put the right chemicals in our body. Let's drink a bunch of mercury, which is supposed to be like the purest metal and the purest mineral on the world, and then everybody went crazy and bashed their heads against skulls. But it is magic in the anime because it's like, wait, just because I know how these things work doesn't mean that I'll be able to transmute them by drawing a circle in the ground. Like, that's where the magic kind of comes in.
Where are my fellow weebs that didn't try, though? Where are my fellow weebs that tried?
No, I loved alchemy. I actually imprinted a lot of my, when I was like 12, I actually did buy like Alchemist for Dummies books and had a notebook where I would practice drawing symbols.
That's kind of cool.
Full Metal Alchemist was like a big thing for me when I was younger, because I liked the philosophy and I liked the idea. But the more I look back on 03, and I grew up with 03 because it was the one that aired on like Adult Swim when I was younger. Brotherhood didn't come out till like, what, 2012? So how old was I? I was in my last year of high school. Yeah, I was like 18 or 19 when it came out. So I was already like kind of past that point, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it is the perfect adaptation. I think it is very much a series that leans too much on, you already know how this story is, so we're going to like speed things up kind of thing. Yeah. Which might explain why a lot of it did feel like just fighting, and it was a lot more plot-driven as opposed to sitting down and having those heavy conversations. My argument is, in comparing the two, is that, one, I do think that's a little reductive of Brotherhood to say it's just about the fights.
It is.
They did still have those conversations.
I'm not saying that that's all that happened in Brotherhood. What I'm saying is that that is what I like kind of remember, because like to me, like the fights were like so fucking cool. The fights were so
well. Again,
fucking
that's
cool.
what like 10 to 15 years of like animation evolution shows.
Right.
I mean, I think the original 03 was still done with cell animation.
Was it really?
Well, I mean, it came out in 2003. Cell animation was still,
I guess.
Well, no, it wasn't cell, but we hadn't gone to digital yet. We were still in like, we were still 4:3 at the time before like we evolved to 16:9. Okay. But like, and you can also tell like the color palettes, things were a lot more muted.
Yeah, things were a lot more saturated. Or not saturated.
No, things were less saturated.
Yeah, less saturated. Sorry.
We weren't using like a lot of bright colors back then, and a lot of those openings still slap like tremendously.
Dude, fucking rewrite Asian Kung Fu Generation. That opening It is. It still sits in like tie place for my like one of my top 3 OPs. Like I can't. It's my top. I can't pick if it's my first place or not.
It's so good. It's so good, and there is a style for back then that I wish was still present in Brotherhood. Like it's all still there, but like even if you want to say that there are more like quiet moments and like you can remember those quiet moments from 03, I will actually agree with that. I can definitely understand that. My big thing is, okay, what was it about? Like, what were those conversations actually about? What did those conversations build to? I think of, like, the conversation that Hohenheim has with Ed in Brotherhood versus the one that he has with Ed in 03. And I just felt more... Not only was that conversation plot-driven, but it also tied more into just the different outlooks that those two had about the world. Versus the conversation that they had in 03, where ironically I feel like it was more plot driven, because the only real conversation they have in 03 is, how the fuck do you know Dante? Well, I'm kind of immortal, and I fucked this chick once and we had a miscarriage, and I just left her, but I guess she never really got over it. And then I met your mother, and I thought I could live a normal life, and then I realized I couldn't. And then I disappeared. Why did he disappear, actually? I don't remember.
Yeah.
In 03.
Like,
because in Brotherhood, it at least says, oh, I had to leave because I knew something was happening, and I had to, like, go on this journey to create a giant countermeasure for this villain that is part of my backstory. And, like, you kind of get the idea that the mom knew that he had to do that. Why did he leave in 03?
Yeah, I gotta give that to you. And I admit that one's like a little hazy. I do remember them really, really talking a lot. That is like from Brotherhood. I remember that was like they spent like a good 3 episodes just, breaking down the whole like absent father thing. Where I think in Brotherhood, in 03, sorry, they did that in Brotherhood, and in 03, they kind of like didn't know how to approach the subject. Because I think the issue was that the reveal for why he left wasn't revealed in the manga yet at the time. So they sort of had to create the villain in Dante. And it's like, well, I guess we'll tie it together, which I guess they were ahead of the time, because Hohenheim did leave because of the villain, because it's ties to the main villain. That was always going to be. That's just like writing 101.
Yeah.
That's writing 101, yeah.
But a lot of the conversations revolving around Hohenheim and like Envy and stuff. Envy, I think, is also I will agree that they are far more interesting in 03. But here's the thing. I feel like the only way that you can engage with the emotion in 03 is if you separate it from the main plot. Or because I don't think the series really chews on a lot of the actual interesting ideas that it brings up nearly as much as it should. And it kind of just ultimately devolves into, well, and then that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened. Like the idea of, do the homunculuses have souls? Lust seems to have a lot of her own thoughts and ideas, but is she actually the person that she was before, or was she never going to be the person that she was before? How does the concept of a soul separate them from the people that they're supposed to be before? Sloth being the reincarnation, Sloth being a homunculus of their mother. That's such a great, interesting idea. She never talks with Hohenheim. At all.
No, not at all.
Hohenheim never sees her and has like a complicated idea. Ed is insisting. He's like, you're not our mother. You're not our mother. You're not our mother. But I have these memories and like I still feel for you. He's like, you're not our mother. You're not our mother. And then she dies. And I'm like, well, I guess she wasn't their mother or whatever. I don't know. Because the series doesn't want to have a definitive answer about that.
Okay. But to that I say is, I think... And I'll post like 2 things here. I'll post a thing. The first thing is the sum more important, or are the parts more important? And then to further that on is do all the parts need to like resolve neatly and tidy to be like, I don't want to use the word good, but like, you know, like good, you know, like to feel like, yes, I love that.
I don't think, let me rephrase, I don't necessarily think that the show needs to come down to any definitive idea of like, yes, it is 100% this thing. But the problem is when you spend more time asking questions with very little answers, it's not satisfying from a narrative perspective. Brotherhood asked a lot of questions and left a lot of things open-ended, but it still did come down to ideas that it wanted to believe in. Mm-hmm. Like take the Major, for example. Mm-hmm. His whole journey about like, I existed strictly to follow orders. I only followed orders, but I guess I did feel some love for my wife. I guess it was nice to act as a human from time to time. And when he's fighting Scar, who is this guy without a name, this guy who had his whole life taken away from him, they are diametrically opposed, and the Major ended up dying feeling alive and more human than he ever did, thinking like, you know what, maybe it wasn't all bad. At that point, it doesn't matter if he is a human or not. What matters is the emotion he felt when he died.
Don't worry, Arnie. You won't break anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I was scared for a second. I'm like, where did that come from?
Oh, sorry. That was one of my routines.
But the problem with the homunculuses in 03 is that it brought up that exact idea for almost every single homunculus. And it could have done a thing where like maybe it lands on a different idea with them up until their death. But it kind of didn't matter when they all died at all. Like, Lust didn't really get any closure. Sloth didn't really get any closure. Wrath didn't really get any closure. And maybe you can maybe make an argument that the idea is that, look at that, like, sometimes life just leaves you with unresolved questions. And I'm like, yeah?
And you're saying, is that fun?
It's not even a matter of whether or not it's fun. Is it satisfying? Because yeah, you could argue life is like that. Sure, I can go out to my local 7-Eleven and play the lottery and lose and be like, yeah, that's unsatisfying.
That's life.
But that's not why I watch. That's not a story anymore. That is just a checklist of ideas. You know?
I think out of all the people I've talked about this, you pose the most like convincing like rebuttal to my thoughts about this show, because a lot of the thoughts I always encounter about this show is it's just the original, that's the original vision, and I'm like, okay. So like, to really hone down on what you're saying, I'd have to rewatch it again. You actually, like, in my head, I'm like, I just kind of have to like watch these two shows like back to back and see what I think. Cause you know what? Like, there is the truth that like, I watched Fullmetal Alchemist, and I watched it when I was, like a teenager, and then like a young teenager, and then I watched like Brotherhood, and I watched that when I was like, 5 years removed as an older teenager. And I guess to me, like, I maybe like stuck on the like, I'm like a very like, when I think about media, I always very quickly think about what it makes me feel, and what it makes me feel like dictates my thoughts about how much I like it or not. Like, I'm a purely like, when it comes to media, purely like feelings driven person. And so now I sit here and think like, that's like, these Bolts is making some really fucking value. Like, you're making very valid arguments why.
Damn it!
No,
You're
hold on,
actually
hold on, hold
engaging
on.
in a civil debate
Right, exactly.
about artistic intention
Right,
and narrative satisfaction. Fuck you, Bolts.
Right, to hold my ground a little bit, you're making a really good argument as to why the writing on 03 wasn't as tight, but I'm still like not like sold on Brotherhood, which I think to that I just have to watch it again.
Here's probably where I ultimately land on.
Okay.
I think I will agree with you that 06 probably brings up better ideas when it comes to the concept of life and the soul and whether or not all of that matters, you know? But in terms of how it integrates these ideas, it ultimately feels like it is a car that is running. It almost feels like a car with better parts that runs off a cliff compared to Brotherhood, which definitely has simpler ideas and is definitely more of like a mainstream type of thing. I think it definitely still has interesting ideas. I think the writer, I think she's a phenomenal writer. I think the ideas are definitely a lot simpler, definitely a lot more shonen, definitely a lot more worldly, but I feel like it knows what it's working with, and it knows, maybe to a detriment in an intentional way, where to take those ideas, what to leave open-ended, and what to be conclusive on. So it ultimately does feel like a complete package.
Yeah.
Like, I can sit there and be like, I know what this story is about, and I personally feel good at the end of the series because ultimately it still lands on an open-ended note, but a hopeful open-ended note, as opposed to 03, where it's like, wow, look at all that stuff we went through. Yeah.
Shit's fucked.
It's fucked, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep going.
And let's just go to World War III, baby. World War II.
Let's survive the Nazis. Thank God we've got blonde hair in Germany.
we're blind hair. I mean, you know, like
very
that's
dark joke.
No, you're good. Because it's
mean.
the aesthetic. That's the aesthetic of like I forget what the country they were. It doesn't matter.
I think they're ultimately in Europe because I do
they're Germany.
know
They're like that's like the
they
aesthetic.
are in Germany, but like it's actually kind of funny. It's actually very funny because you can tell. And I won't get too deep into this for obvious reasons, but you can tell that Full Metal Alchemist, like the manga was written like to have a setting parallel to to the militaristic state of Europe.
Yeah.
Particularly during World War II. Because the country they live in, it's a militaristic state that is infringing on the freedoms of other countries as it's trying to expand. I don't want to hear anybody that says anime doesn't reflect real world
for
stuff,
sure. Like it definitely, you know, I think not all of it does, but I think
not all of it does. But like
some of it does. Like for my favorite ones,
a lot of the big ones definitely are.
I think all of my favorite shows always do. Like you know, the other show where I always say is like, oh, this is my tie for my first place is the Code Geass opening. I love Code Geass. Oh my god, and that's like that is like purely about that same thought of like more that show definitely goes more into like the whole idea of like what happens with when you know when a state decides that it wants to be the boss of the world.
Yeah, I mean there's literally a character called the Führer.
Yeah, I think right.
Like Bradley is literally called the Führer.
The Führer. Like,
and I just think it's funny that it was clearly supposed to be an analog to World War II, and then in 03, they're just like, let's just send them to the real world. Let's just put them
in World War II, baby.
Let's just send them to World War II.
Right. I thought that was a cool movie too, though. I thought that was a fun movie.
It was interesting. I mean, it's definitely a better ending than the series. because
Oh,
at
yeah.
least Al and Ed ultimately end up together at the end of the day, because you could argue that there is this nice full circle moment where it's like, well, at the end of the day, it's all about two brothers, you know? There are like a lot of weird things in there where it's like, oh yeah, remember all the black magic that the Nazis practiced? It's real. And they just summoned everybody. They accidentally practiced the same alchemy that they did in the Full Metal Alchemist universe. And that's how Envy came over here, who's just stuck as a dragon now. And
It's just,
okay.
it's
What's-
goofy.
I do wonder how Ed and Al are going to feel actually directly interacting with real
Yeah,
World
right.
War II Germany in the middle of it. Like, that's definitely a story they do not want to tell. But I wonder if that was like, I wonder if they ended the movie exactly where they did, because it's like, well, if we go any further, we're gonna have to talk about some really dark stuff.
Yeah, like they, you know, because like that is like the show, the both Brotherhood and 03. What, like, it is implied that, you know, I mean, it's basically told to you that, like, you know, they're committing as much human atrocity as, you know, so like they really
actually,
they want to skirt that line.
I actually just realized something. It's actually very ironic, and I wonder if this was intentional, because the one of the main things that was being done during World War II, I forget what it was called, but it was this idea of like the promised land where like the chosen people are, and they had very, very specific features. And then you look at the original Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood, and it's like, wait, that place existed in the Full Metal Alchemist universe because that's where Hohenheim was from.
Yeah.
And the irony is that the villain nuked that place off the planet for the sake of becoming human. So, see, this is what I mean, where it's like, even if there are less conversations happening in 03, there is still a really strong intentionality to everything that happens.
No, for sure.
And both like the analogy, both like the parallels to the real world stuff, but also how everything sort of comes full circle. Now, does everybody get that treatment? No. Lust just kind of dies. But it did lead to one of my favorite interactions at a convention ever. Yeah. Because in the dub, the dub voice actress for Lust is Laura Bailey, who is married to the English voice actor of Roy Mustang, Travis Willingham.
I didn't know that, but fair bet.
So I met them at a convention once years ago. God, it must have been like 7 or 8 years ago. Back before like Critical Role and everything was taking off more. And I met them at a convention, and I remember asking them, like, what was that like? Because in Brotherhood, you know, Roy Mustang fucking nukes Lust. And it's like, what was it like to eviscerate your wife, basically?
Yeah, right? Like, you guys talk about this? Does it come up in the bedtime?
they made a very funny joke about it, where it's like, I think the idea, like, I asked Travis, and he's like, it was a little bit cathartic. You know, you don't always have moments like that where you just blow off some steam, and Laura was like, yeah, and that's when he realized that he was sleeping on the couch that night. Another like little fun fact about the dub. So in the original 03 version, Alphonse was played by Aaron Dismuke, who was an actual child at the time.
Okay.
He was about 12 years old
Yeah, he
when he
sounded like a kid,
recorded for Alphonse, which worked because Alphonse was that age when he got like thrown into the armor.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Most of the time, and like the Japanese version did this, and Brotherhood did this, most of the time you would just have a woman like sound like a young boy.
Right.
But this was a rare case where I think because Aaron was the cousin, no, not cousin, he was the nephew of Justin Cook, who was, and I think still is, one of the head producers of Funimation. So it's like, oh, I have this nephew. We don't have a lot of actors because this was still back when Funimation was still very, very small. Why don't we just have him record in the booth, you know? So obviously when Brotherhood happened, like so many years later, they couldn't just have him voice Alphonse anymore because his balls dropped. Right. He sounds nothing like how he did before. He's a full-on adult now, and it's harder for like men to like sound like young boys. So they got like who did they get? I think they got the actress that played Krona in Soul Eater to play Al, and it sounded really good. But what I like is that, you know, during that flashback scene with Hohenheim, where it's like he's remembering when he first met the dwarf in the flask, and when he was like back in his home country, and he was like a younger man. They had Aaron, Alphonse's original voice actor, play Hohenheim's younger self.
Oh, that's kind of like, cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's actually really cool.
That is pretty cool. And you know, almost all the original actors, so that's the only, so they couldn't, so aside from that, all the original actors more or less came back. And then there's Troy Baker just kind of randomly thrown in there too. He ended up playing Greed when Greed got reincarnated.
Oh, really?
I think that was just done because they got Troy Baker back, and Troy Baker doesn't really do anime anymore, except for Baki for some reason.
He likes Baki. I think I've heard him a couple of say he just likes it.
You think he just likes Baki?
Yeah, he just likes
that
it.
Makes sense. Baki's old. Like the manga.
The manga's old. I can't get into it. I
can't either.
I want to, but like it's just like the anatomy is like. It's just too much, man. Like
it's so weird.
It's so
I can't
weird.
Tell if the art is good or bad sometimes.
I think
I'm like,
I read out a little bit. Like the art is good. It's just okay. To put it bluntly, it's just gross.
It's very. Let me rephrase that. It's very ugly, but I can't tell if it's on purpose or not.
I think it's on purpose.
That's my big thing.
I think it's on purpose. I think it's because like. I think the guy just really likes muscles. Like, I think that I don't know the manga's name, but they probably just went to a bunch of. They definitely have to go to like Mr. Universe competitions and just like see the like hyper lean muscular super like and they just go like that's it bruh, that's it, I like that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine, like there was a point in my life where I aimed for that too, but like then I realized like Jesus Christ, no fucking thank you. That's actually so much work. Fuck. There was a point in my life where I tried to like compete in one of those fucking things. It was fun. It was fun for a little bit, but then it's like it's actually super unhealthy. You think that for like a thing that is like supposed to be like lauding like men's like health, it's actually mega unhealthy to like have that physique.
No, it is, but like I think that's kind of the power fantasy with Baki a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, hey, it's almost like
it's fantasies, yeah.
It's absolutely it's a definitive wish fulfillment where it's like I have such hyper controls over all of my muscles and everything that I do that like if you slap me super hard in the back, I can disperse the pain throughout all the individual ripples of my muscles and not feel anything. That is a real episode that happened, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
And that's the thing. Like Baki has like I watch it. Okay, I have this awful thing where like I only like. I'm like I watch anime on like TikTok now, and like I watch it in like parts. I watched all of Ratatouille on TikTok, part like 1 out of like 25, and like I sometimes like watch episodes of Baki that way, and like when they're having fights and talking about like the mechanics, like it's fun. But then they just have these scenes where they show off the muscles.
It's bullshit, but it is fun.
It's fun.
It's total bullshit.
I just can't get into the aesthetics. I couldn't sit down and properly watch it because I just like, fuck, man. I can't stare at this. It's just looking at Yujiro's Hanma's fucking 0% fat back demon, and I just go like, no, thank you. That creeps me out.
I think I remember watching Trash Taste, like a couple of their clips, and they talk about the Baki phenomenon, how it's like, is Baki more ridiculous than, say, JoJo? Or why isn't Baki memed as much as JoJo? Because there's definitely the potential for it. And I think it just comes down to its style.
Its style.
I think it really is a similar situation where it's like, if this looked better, I think people would be memeing it about as much, if not more, because I think it actually has more meme potential than
for
JoJo.
Sure. It's got some goofy shit.
It's so goofy.
It's so
goofy and ridiculous, but in like it is in a fun, self-indulgent kind of way. Because there are just wild scenes where I'm just like, that's insane. So I actually took a scene and I tried turning it into a meme, and it is the scene of. It's the scene of when Baki is trying to have sex with his girlfriend.
Oh my god, that's a classic.
And his dad
just shows up.
And he's like, I need you guys to fuck. And I'm like, what the fuck? But what's hilarious about that scene, watching it in English, is that Baki's dad is played by Kirk Thornton, who is the current voice of Shadow. And if you just close your eyes, it's like Shadow is encouraging you to have sex, basically. He's like, just do it. Morning, noon, and night, do it. And I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. So what I did was, I
think I saw you do a short about this.
And I took that audio and I layered it on top of Shadow footage, and I'm like, it just works.
It just works.
It just works.
Let's hide you, travel. Oh, dude, it's like that's the thing. Like, it's got like these moments that you like think about it in like an ether, and like, this is so funny. This is so funny. I like love it, but fuck, man. I wish I could like Baki enough to sit down and watch all of it, because it is just such a fucking joy to like see these like goofy ass. You know, Bulls. Like, I think out of all the talks I've had with people while I try to make music, I've had like the most unproductive like music production time, but like I've enjoyed this so much. This has been so much fun. It's been so much fun.
I'm enjoying it too. It's a fun time. Like, I didn't think I'd be talking about Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, me neither. Hi, Reyd.
As deeply since probably high school.
Right? Like, oh, dude, amazing. Like, it's a genuine like, wow. Like, you know, I really feel like we were kind of like cut around the same era. You know, like we like really experienced like a very mutually along the same railroad like growth experience. Very like it's fun to talk with someone who like just kind of gets it, like, you know, you have like these like not the same, but like you are clicking on the same beats. You're clicking on the same beats.
I try my best to break everything. I've gotten this compliment before. And I guess I like it, but I never feel like I'm actually like this. It's this sense of, I will always try to talk about things I will always try to give things a chance and break it down in a, okay, I might not agree with this, but where is the other person coming from kind of thing. Like, I have my limits, obviously, but like when it's talking about anime and like art and content and stuff like that, I never like thinking that I'm the smartest person in the room. I always want to try to ascertain. I just want to learn as much as I can, because if I'm learning, then that's just going to make me better at how I tackle things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It really is like just a fun, like, you know, because I feel like a lot of discussions about this stuff online, and it's why like I'm like actually always super like, you know, I'm like I say like I'm not saying I hate this, you know. I have to like, you have to like sometimes like when you have these discussions with people, you know, some of these things are people's identities, which is, you know, it's what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like a truth that some people really, like. I've had people who I've talked about my hatred of everything that's Halo past, like Halo ODST, and I've had people go like, "How dare you? How dare you, Ray Call sounds? How dare you?" And I'm just like, I just don't like it. I don't like it, and it people take it as an attack when it's not an attack. You know, it's just like, I just don't like this thing. And it's fun to have like.
It's passion at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's fun to have good faith discussions about nonsense. This is nonsense for funsies.
I don't think it's maybe not nonsense because we feel so passionate about it, but it's
no one's dying from it.
It's love. It's love at the end of the day. We're talking about the things that we love and where that love stems from, and understanding why or where people get their passion from. It kind of makes you appreciate the things that you love even more.
Yeah, it is, and it, you know, and like you break new ground, because then you sat there. You know, most times I talk about Full Metal Alchemist, the argument is always just like, that was the intention. That was what the author. And I'm like, okay, but I just don't like what the author intended. Like I didn't. It didn't click for me, and so I feel like there's like this very dismissive argument about 03. I think the only time I've ever had someone genuinely sit down and think about like, okay, well, here's 03, and here is Brotherhood, and here are like the thoughts. It's very rare that someone sits down and gives me like a bright, proper like talk about it. It's very fun. It's very refreshing.
Let's see.
Ooh, that was not with the key. But yeah,
I just cracked my chest.
wait, how the fuck do you crack your chest?
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed. You're good there. You're good there, dog.
It's just stiffness. I'm just like cracking the bones in my brittle old body. Every time I move, it's like a xylophone because of all the doot 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 doot, and all the sounds that get made. Back in my day, there I was, back to back with Jesus. Shout out to anyone who understands that Devil Artemis reference. It's one of my favorite things to quote.
Get the WD. No, it's a lot of fun. I don't know how long you want to sit for, but I guess I'll just ask you. How are you feeling? I usually go for about 30 minutes, but are you feeling tired? Are you feeling? What are your thoughts? Where are you at? Where are you at?
I am feeling a bit tired, but you said you usually end like what? At like 3 hours? Or?
I end around the 3 hour mark.
I can go for 20 more minutes.
Okay, bad, baller.
Let me just go get some more water.
Yeah, and then I'll like think about what I've been working on, and then I'll go like, okay, well, this is like not going anywhere.
Sounds good.
Usually I get a moment to talk about the YouTube, but then I'm like, oh no, I'm not even focused on this at all. Get your water.
BRB.
Oh my God, Raiders! I've been like slowly plucking away at this. I don't like it. This is garbage. This is garbage. Let me pull out what let's pull up a fun project. Let's pull up like a real project. Like, holy shit, my balls are about to explode. This one I'm excited about, chat. This one I'm excited about. This one's gonna be good. Banger. This one's gonna be ready. Banger alert. Kind of quiet though. Oh my God. Okay. Where are you gamers at? How are you all doing? I feel like I haven't chatted with you all as much as I really haven't chatted with you all as much as, so whoever's there, I love you. Come here. Mwah. I love you. Thank you for hanging out. You guys are really sweet. Hi. Better than I can do since I don't make music. Sure. What do you mean, sure? What do you mean, sure? You don't like me back? You don't like me back? Is that what you're saying? How dare you? Is it bad that I never checked out Game of Thrones? Oh, dude, I was a high house member. How you doing? It's better than dude. Game of Thrones is great. I love Game of Thrones. Don't read the book. They are finished either. Wait, did JRM not finish the Game of Thrones? Did he not finish the? Did he not finish the books? I thought he did. I haven't checked in a million years. I kind of stopped reading them for no reason. I guess that's why, because he never finished them. He's making money off Elden Ring. I think he made a mistake in a sense making the show, because now he's like fuck the show. Like, how do I compare? It's an easy thing with a stretch out. How do I compare the game to the books to the show? I mean, good. I'm gonna we got new buttons, lovers, also bad for mice. Nice. What do you mean he's made someone? He's laughing. Yeah, no, I get it, but like, I think he definitely cares about the story he's writing. He definitely cares. I'm waiting to check a song, Ice and Fire, but I think their book's worth reading. I mean, again, another bad media take I have is that I like the way the Game of Thrones show ended. I think it was fine. I think people who didn't like it just wanted Daenerys to be a good guy, and I think whoever thought Daenerys was gonna be a good guy was like asleep at the wheel. Like, anybody who thought Daenerys was gonna be like quote unquote gonna break, like, never Daenerys was never gonna be like the quote unquote good character to that story ever. Rocks fall, everyone. That's literally what happened. Rocks fall, fucking Jaime and Cersei die. Fuck. The dungeon masters kill the party and end the show, right? Cracking chess is so. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know you could fucking do that, chat. I don't like the drum groove. Raiders. I don't like the drum groove. But I like the intro. The intro's so pretty. But I kind of want to make it wider. So loud? Is it so loud? My bad. I can lower it. I can lower it for you. There we go. It's nice and lower for you. It's kind of quiet now.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
What did I miss?
I was like opening projects on other stuff I was like liking, and I was like, oh, this is a good project I was working on. But someone started talking about Game of Thrones in the chat, and that's like another place where I like have another awful take.
Oh, I can't go into that. I have not watched. I have not consumed a single bit of Game of Thrones media.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I'm sure you've heard that no one likes the ending. I think the ending's good. I don't understand what it is. I'm not doing it intentionally either. People sometimes tell me like, "Are you just like being intentionally like contradictory?" Like, no,
you're just a natural contrarian.
I just like these things. I like these things. I think they're good. I like 03. I like Sunshine. I like Game of Thrones the way it ended. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, that would be a fun I love Game of Thrones. But yeah, shit. Man.
Sorry, I can't engage in that
Right,
conversation.
no, you're chilling. We didn't do any work. But you know what? We didn't do any work, but I think this is an incredibly good production session.
I agree.
I used to like actually go to a studio to produce with some people, and like there was this joke where like I feel like you might have context on this. Like you might have you ever like hired a recording studio or anything? Like gone into a recording studio?
I've taken. I don't live there anymore, but back when I was in New York, I did take a few recording classes.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird because I feel like a lot of people think I have way more recording experience than I actually do. Professional recording experience. I've done a lot of things on my own. Like I've been doing NSFW voice acting for over a year, and I've voiced like little side projects and personal dubs. But I've never been in like an actual indie project before. I haven't even auditioned nearly as much as I want to because lack of time. And I think because I've had the opportunity to work with so many actual big professional people, it's kind of created this lock in my brain where it's like I will not feel satisfied unless I am able to craft a specific level of quality that time, energy, and environment will not allow at this current juncture. But it's outside of those specific classes. I was actually supposed to sit in on and help with more classes, but those classes never ended up. Like I was supposed to be a moderator for some voice acting classes, and it was supposed to double as me also sitting in on the classes.
Right.
Like I was still going to get paid, but it's like, hey, you could also learn on the job kind of thing.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people learn sometimes in this industry.
For sure.
Where it's sometimes it's like you find yourself in the right place at the right time to pick up on those experiences firsthand. And I would like to take more classes. There aren't as many good classes online, unfortunately.
No.
And I think, but thankfully, I am thankful enough that if I do have any specific questions, or if I do need things to be looked over, I do have friends that I can turn to. I have a couple of voice acting friends, or even like the people that I work under. I could probably show them things, like, is this a good demo? What should I look out for? Any advice? And then I would just do it on my own, kind of thing.
Right.
It's one of those situations where like I've worked very hard to get in the positions that I have. And I think this is the year where I'm starting to really, I guess, acknowledge and feel happy about the fact that, oh, Bolt, you know people that can help you. Maybe you should start asking those people for help instead of just doing everything on your own and wondering if you're doing it right. It's like, shit. Yeah, I probably should do that. I mean, hell, that's a lot of what happened into my debut and stuff like that.
Right.
And my debut, getting a partner, working with all of these people and pieces that I'm very, very thankful to have that I never... There comes a point, I think, where you are so down on yourself that you start to ignore the things that you have in life.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't think I disavowed anybody, but I definitely don't think I was appreciating just how important it is that I have those connections. Not because it's like, oh, fuck these people. It was more like, oh, these people are just being nice, or like,
oh, the worst.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure that it's not that big of a deal or anything because I didn't see much in myself. But it's like, no, people are here because they see something in you. Maybe it's time you started seeing that yourself.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't see that, then you will be reflecting badly on them.
Wow.
And
that was like
that
a powerful quote. I like that.
I mean, I've had a lot of time to think about it. I think this past year in particular has been like a major thing, and I think I've just been starting to appreciate like the friendships and relationships that I made, including this one. I'm very, very thankful to be here, and it's honestly an honor and pleasure that I know like we didn't do a lot of like work and
That's
everything,
okay.
but the value in the conversation, the fact that you were kind enough to even ask me to be here, that is worth its weight in gold, and I do appreciate that.
Actually, like to do something musically related, like I've had this. Do you want to like really quickly, like just record? Like, okay, so I have this like song, and I've been like stuck on it for like a while. Do you want to like maybe like repackage that as like an ad-lib intro?
What I just said, or
Yeah.
like something specific?
Yeah, whatever you're good. Do you want to just go off for a second, and like I'll record it and put it in the song? If you're comfortable with that.
Sure. What did I say again?
Fuck.
You mean that quote I said about
Like yeah.
about like valuing myself?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to?
Sure. I don't like. You can just keep the recording going, and I can just talk. If you find something, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep yapping. Just keep
Like
yapping.
I'm not good at like unless I'm sitting down and specifically writing things. It's weird because I feel a lot more. I think the reason why I like writing shorts so much is because they're very fact based, and I've always been somebody that has like looked at things like history and development, and like, wow, you can literally see what goes into making something work or making a work of art, whether it's streaming or video games or movies or television or cartoons or anime. And I spent so much of my life writing about those things or researching those things that I never once considered the fact that, oh, Bolts, you can do those things too. You are doing those things. There is value in the work that you do. There are people maybe looking at you the same way that you're looking at all of these other amazing and creative people. And that is scary. It's absolutely scary. But that is what draws people to you. And you can downplay it all you want, but there does come a certain point where if you really say that you value and appreciate the people that you have in your life, then that means that you also need to start listening to them when it comes to you. You can't just omit that. You can't cherry pick when you want to believe people. Unconditionally, at least. Whether it's your friends, your partners, your loved ones. If you want to stand by what they like and what they believe in, and that just happens to be you, then you have to stand by that too. And if you're still nervous about whether or not you deserve that, keep working hard until eventually you do feel deserving of that. Or maybe you'll never feel deserving of that, and that can be fine on its own. But the point is that you're always working to get to that point, and that can be a different fire that fuels you.
Wow, that was really good. I like stay silent for all of it. I mean, I record all the tracks individually because of fucking OBS, but like that was I really like that. Would you be okay if I put that in the song?
Please go right ahead.
Oh, thank you.
My ADHD, it's like I just let a different part of my brain take the wheel. And now I'm back in the driver's seat. It's like, what just happened? It's like those memes of Shaggy being like, it's like the spirit of, I'm not even acting, just the spirit of Shaggy possessed me for like a second, and I was only using 1% of his power.
I love that. You know, I guess to loop back, I brought the recording studio things because I worked at a recording studio very briefly. I worked at a recording studio very briefly, and there was this joke that a lot of the recording engineers would always say is that a lot of the bands pay $1,000, so usually a day at a recording studio costs anywhere between $500 to like $1,000. You know, and that's like for like 4 to 5 hours. You know, and a lot of the bands pay 500s, pay $500. It's usually like $400 an hour. $400 an hour. A lot of bands pay $800. They pay $800 to have a place to talk to, and then they pay $400 to have a place to talk to for an hour, and then another $400 to make music. And like, I think that's always like how it always goes for every like musician when they're having or creatives when they're having a really good time in a creative endeavor with like another person. It's always going to be like mostly the people talking. As Skaven says, it's called it is brainstorming, but it's not. Brainstorming happens very like loosely and not intentionally. The best brainstorming happens loosely and not intentionally. No one sits down and goes like, how do you fucking crank out an idea? Like no one gets a good idea like that. You just kind of click out on it and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, right. All right. Yeah. Fuck. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of what my writing process is sometimes. I will literally take out my phone, go to like a Google Doc or something, and I will do text to speech.
Oh, me too.
Speech to text.
Yeah.
And I'll just freeball talk about an idea or something for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll look at what I have left over, and it's like, okay, can I clean this up and turn it into a script?
Right. No, I do the same. I do the same thing too. Actually, I'm really bad at. Something I've been really wanting to improve on is long form writing. I love like long form video essays, and I have like a lot of like feelings and emotions about things that I experience that I just like want to like share, but like I have a really hard time like eloquently putting that on paper. It's like hard as fuck for me. And so like I to help me do that, I've been like really just I sit down with the like phone on a Google Doc and be like, I speak, it transcribes, and it's just good. It's just good. It's just good. Oh, I've always had the backstory in my head for the character, and maybe one day you guys will get to see it. All right, well,
that's exciting.
I think that's a pretty good place for us to stop. I think so. Shadow, can you pause the ads, please? I don't want no one suffering fucking Jeff Bezos's fucking blood tithe if we can avoid it. Please and thank you. Thank you, Shadow. Bolts, is there anybody you want to raid to send some love?
I do have a friend named Cross that is streaming with a bunch of other friends. They're playing, I think, the newest friend slot game that just dropped. Gamble with your friends.
Okay, I dig that. I love that. Gambling on Twitch? I thought we banned that.
Yeah, I'll send you their name. I think they'd get a kick out of it. They usually stream super late at night.
Nice. We also always here have our credits. So hang around if you can hang around for our credits. I love that. Raiders, it's our credits as per usual. If you were here, type I was here. Type I was here if you were here. And let me get that name.
Oh, that's a fun idea.
Right? There it is. There. All right. Let me write that raid down. Thank you, Bolts, for... thank you, Your88G Red Spy, for the cheers, and Red New York for the cheers. Thank you so much to Daniel Darwin for the raids. Thank you so much to Shadow King, Red New York, Ron Queen, Cub Sneaky Thin, and Shimu Rimu to come help mod for us. Thank you, Bolts, for coming to spend this time with me. It was so much fun. I genuinely and truly enjoyed it. It was such a good time. I really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, honestly.
Congratulations also on all your like recent success. You've been doing so well. So fucking well, dude. Congrats.
God, I hope so.
Dude, I'm like, damn, what an inspiration to us all. I love that. I really love that. Special thanks to everybody.
More.
Right? We can always do more. Special thanks to everybody who helped all the assets, and a special thanks to you who are to the end. Berto Caveman, Shadow King, Nikki Thin, Scarlet Pro, Max Trooper, Daniel Darwolf, Okuyasu Skaven, and Rafflebot 3000. Thank you. We can always, I guess, do more, but I think you're doing really amazing, and I think you're gonna do even more amazing things, dude. I think you're so fucking cool. I think you're so fucking cool. Thank you again. I bow and I humble myself to you. Thank you for spending this time with me. We didn't do music really, but I think it was a lot of fun.
We had some great conversations.
We had some great conversations. I'm gonna hit the raid button. I love you all. Mwah! Say goodbye to YouTube. Say goodbye to Twitch. Bye YouTube. Bye Twitch. Bye Raiders. And bye Bulls.